Hello, 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 hello. How are we all doing? Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Let's go. How are we doing? Martin coming in. Let's go with the 7 months. How are we doing, buddy? Good to see ya. Thank you very much for the resubscribe. Who we got in here? Emo, good to see ya. Ollie, how we doing? Harry, good to see ya. Flixie, what's up? How we doing, my guy? Who else have we got? Northeast, good evening. How we doing? Tinja, yo, oi, oi, big up. How we doing? Good to see you, Holly. Nice to see you. How are we doing? How is everyone's Saturdays? Hope we're having a fantastic day. Are we ready for another fun one in the city tonight? We're currently on the root beer for now. So, obviously it's my son's birthday today. So, we took him out to the farm for a little while. We had a nice visit down to the farm. Then we went, played in some soft play. And then we went to Nando's, had a cheeky Nando's, and we were at Home Bargains and popped in, and they were selling some root beer. So I was like, oh, let me try this Soda Folk and see what this root beer is like. So it's actually quite decent. It's quite nice, not gonna lie. Your local team won. Nice, Ollie. Let's go. That's good to see. Am I thinking, who's the Stockport local team? Who's got Stockport as the local team? Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yeah, he was 1 today. Stockport, that's it, Ollie. I thought it was you. I was going to say, is it Stockport? And then I didn't want to embarrass myself saying, no, that's someone else. But yeah, I thought it was Stockport. Yeah, he had a really good day. We had some family over at the end. My mum has brought this humongous, great big tractor that they pedal and sit on. What's happening in the city tonight? We'll wait and see. See what's going on. Yo, Tom coming on the roads on TikTok. How are we doing? Good to see ya. Nikki, good to see ya. I'm very good. Thank you. Yourself? You guys can hear okay in... I bet this has changed, actually. You guys can hear okay in TikTok, can't you? How long have I been Five for? I've literally just gone live now, Nikki. Don't worry. You're not missing anything. Just gone live now. Hey, how you doing, Renee? Good to see you, my mum. Silverback, yo, give us a wave. How you doing, Silverback? Hope you're well. Are we all ready for a good night tonight? You had one? Oh, so did I, actually. And I used to, my mum used to put my sister in the back when she was small. And, you know, the little trailer bit. And I used to drive around the, It was pretty funny, actually. You finally got your FiveM working. Hey, let's go. Yeah, I'm very good, thank you, buddy. How are you? Ready for a good night? Try and smash everything in the city tonight. See what's got planned for us. See if we can smash that sub goal as well. And have another good evening. And yeah, see what we can get up to. Are we ready for it? Are we ready to get into the city? How long we got left of the song? We've got not long at all. So as soon as we get that, we'll go straight into the city. Hey, Alice, how you doing? Good to see you. Welcome in. Maxi, good evening. How are we? Hope you're well. I'm not live on YouTube. Unfortunately, you can only go live at one place at a time. TikTok. You can go TikTok as well as Twitch or Instagram, but you can't go YouTube and Twitch. It's just the laws that they have. Right, we've got a call already. Let's get straight into the city. Hello?
Hello, are you able to come down to cells, please? There's a lawyer and CID are requesting you for something.
Yeah, no worries. I'm en route.
Appreciate it, thank you.
No worries. Here we go, straight in. You guys can see everything okay? You can indeed. Let me just turn that off. We're all good. Cool. Right, come straight out the showers and we're straight on to duty. Right. Everyone can hear everything nice and clear. Yeah, everything's good. Cool. Let's get into it then. Hey, mate.
Just the man. Spot on.
Just being requested down, yeah?
Yeah. There's an ongoing thing tonight with this dirty money situation.
Yep.
I'm just trying to establish what constitutes it and what doesn't.
Yeah, no worries.
He's just here now, lads. Sorry.
Evening.
Evening, Tom. Right.
How we doing?
So, can you, in your words, mate, can you give us a description on a scenario based, obviously, in terms if someone's caught with holding dirty money?
Yep.
Right. So, obviously holding dirty money. Frank's arguing the fact that obviously we can't prove that it is actually dirty money.
So it all depends on where it's come from. So where you caught them. So for instance, if you caught them drug dealing, then obviously you can class it as dirty money. The only way that you can you can't take it off them as dirty money is if they've just walked out of their job. You know, you've watched them walk out of their job of work and they've maybe got cash in hand, stuff like that. But for instance, they've obviously been on shop robbery, they've got rolls and notes, you're seizing it. If they've done drugs and you've caught them doing drug selling, you're seizing it.
I'm not disputing that, Tom. What I'm disputing is your guys.
Stolen car?
Right, yeah, so...
Yeah, because right now I've just looked at your client's history. He's got a lot of history of T-Walk. He's even got a charge of possession with intent to supply. There's a lot of, you know, how has he come into, you know, it does bring a lot of question as to how he came into that amount of money. So we would have to be conducting an interview to ascertain that.
How is 4 rolls, right, which word on the street is about £400, is a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I'd call 400 quid carrying on your person is quite a lot. Just carrying around the streets, as well as...
I'm carrying 600. So
and your work of employment is a lawyer, correct?
He currently has no form of employment as he did get fired as a lawyer. He's then driving a stolen vehicle in which he fled away from us. Upon decamp, he kept fleeing. Okay, you understand where this is adding up, right? He has 4 rolls and notes on him while driving a stolen vehicle and fleeing from police. No, I fully understand what you're saying, as well as his previous charges of T-Walk and possession with intent to supply, as well as holding dirty money. Can you see where this all lines up with the charges?
So essentially...
Excuse me, Matt, what you're trying to say is, right, because he's got no employment, how's he got all this money? He could have had that in a savings account.
But
what I'm asking is, you need to prove it's dirty money. That's what I'm trying to say.
So not only that though, obviously if the person is walking down the street and he's got 400 quid on and we search him, then that's fair enough. But if the person is committing a crime such as stealing a vehicle, what would if he's in a stolen vehicle and we pull him over, then it would also be in his right to prove where that money has come from, unless it's seized. Because what could happen is, if you pull him over because it's a stolen vehicle and you arrest him, and obviously you bring him back down to the station, you seize everything off of him, pending an investigation, obviously, because you deem that as potential criminal.
I understand that.
So what's to say that that person, that 400 quid that he's got on him, he didn't find that in the car? So that's where we're turning around and saying, okay, right, so we need to...
His bank account.
He could have. So if he took it out of his bank account, then he'd have a record from his bank. So if he would, what we'd be able to do is hold that money from him until he can prove that he got that money out. And obviously, if he said he got 400 quid out the bank yesterday, for instance, at such and such time, then obviously he can go to the bank, because we can obviously release on bail or whatever we want to do, but hold that money from him. Then he can bring that statement down to us and say, look, you can see on my bank that I withdraw £400 on that date at that time, exactly like I said. But if he can't prove that, then obviously we would hold it under investigation due to the fact that we can't confirm whether that money was taken from the car or he'd taken it from his bank. So that's where
the date and time of the transaction would be checked if he brought that evidence to us. So if
but
it was after he was released on bail, it wouldn't count.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly that. If he can prove that he's bought it beforehand and the time and date that he says, because obviously if we're carrying £400 on, we're going to roughly know when we took it out from the bank, can't we?
So hold on. So I'm carrying 600 now. So do you want to search me and find out why I'm carrying 600?
No, we've got no grounds to search you, but we do have grounds to search someone who's in a stolen vehicle.
But this is what I'm trying to say. You know, so the charges are that when I get read, right? The T-walk, right, and all that, right?
Yep.
The minute it comes dirty money, is a case of I will start fighting it, because you've got to prove that it's dirty money. The minute you mention dirty money, you need to prove that it's dirty.
But not only that though, we have to prove, like for instance, if you have bailiffs come to your house that you owe money to the courts, they will come and take everything. And if you don't own that, it's basically your duty to prove that you don't own that. They will take everything in that house that they can find to a money. If you don't own it, it's your missus or whatever, you have to get receipts to prove that. And exactly what we're saying is, if obviously you are stolen a car and you get arrested, you've got found with 4 rolls of notes or whatever, obviously because you've been doing a criminal activity, we can't confirm at this moment in time until we investigate whether that money is taken from the car or you had it on before you. And if you did have it on you before you, brilliant. Just bring down the copy of the receipt that you got from the bank to say that you got that out.
Yeah, I understand that.
Or your employment payroll to say that you got it in cash this week or whatever. If they can prove that, give the money back straight away.
But again, you're paying a charge that's non-existent at the minute because you cannot prove that that's dirty. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, but we can obviously seize it.
So say, obviously, like that's 4 rolls, right? 4 rolls of notes. But how do we know that's worth £400? How do we not know that's worth £1,000? How do we know if that's
up to you to find that out. That's up to you to find out.
Additionally, he's also been convicted of holding dirty money in the past alongside T. Watkins' possession with intent to supply, all in the same incident.
I'm going to be honest with you, okay? So for me, the way I go about things is if I arrest someone and they've got drugs on them, for instance. Was this taken without own consent? Was this the stolen vehicle? Was it? Okay. So obviously, as we say, would seize it until we obviously prove otherwise. If they can't prove it, then obviously we would hold it under the evidence through that report. If they come back after they've been arrested and they have obviously proof that they can get it, then obviously they get money back. If it is over a substantial amount of money, then obviously we would obviously do investigation into it, because at the end of the day, if someone's holding 25 or even 450 rolls, exactly what I seized off someone the other day, that is a lot of money. And that's not the case of slap on the wrist, you're going down for twat. You're going to be investigated to find out where that money is coming from, money laundering or dirty money. So that's where the difference in policing comes in. Like if we're talking about 4 rolls here, we're either talking about, right, we're seizing that, and we're not going to maybe do holding dirty money at this moment. We could be doing it for, you're taking without owner consent. You may have things not on you, or it may be the case, right, we're going to investigate it further.
I'm not disputing the T-Walk or anything.
Oh, Maxi coming in 2 months. Let's go. Thank you, buddy. Welcome in. Teddles, welcome in.
He's got a charge of holding dirty money. And then straight off the bat, 10 minutes later, one of your officers turned around and went, he's now on suspicion of holding dirty money. So straight off the bat, to be honest, he's not on the same page. That's exactly what was said to me. Right?
Well, that's because CID is now involved, essentially, at this point. I mean, you've got myself and Turner here.
Right, so you have moved it from, the charge was holding dirty money, and then the minute CID came down, it went to suspicion. Correct?
It is suspicion at this moment in time. Yes, it is suspicion.
Stop. Yeah, stop. Listen to what I'm saying. When I come down, Savas read the charges. He went, he's got a charge of dirty money. Right? But now you've changed it to suspicion. So you've got no charge. Hold on. So you've got no charge because you can't prove it as dirty money. You aren't getting what I'm saying.
So I understand where you're coming from, Frank, and what I think might have...
I can clear that up for you.
The way that's clear up is obviously if... It will go down on the MDT as holding dirty money, but if he's under suspicion, they'd put that on there anyway. So if Savas has come in and read the MDT and that's what he's got on him, then it would still be suspicion.
Yeah. Tom, you can't put a charge on someone when you've not got proof it's dirty money. Okay. Right? You can't do it.
No, however, you can put it on their MDT until they get sentenced. That could be
you can put it on file, but you cannot charge them.
But he hasn't been charged yet, though, has he? He hasn't been charged yet.
Yeah, but your CID, but if you look, Savas said to me, he's going to be charged. He's got a charge of dirty money.
I said his charges, not that he's going to be charged with. Those are the charges that's currently against
charges.
him.
So basically, what I'm saying is, now you can't prove it's dirty money, so that charge is non-existent.
Well, not until you we haven't talked to you.
Not until he proves beyond reasonable doubt that.
No, you can't charge something unless you can prove it.
Let's go in with a resub as well. Let's go. We're smashing this.
Sure, he can go.
How are we? Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. How you doing, Ryan? Good to see you.
He can do that. Yeah, but you cannot charge him unless you have got proof it was dirty money.
I presume you've been brought down here to obviously defend his case.
Yeah.
So if you have been, then obviously I understand what you're saying, but no one's charged him yet. So we can put them charges on there, and we can say that that's what we're currently looking to charge him with.
But what it's saying is he was.
Bringing him down here. You've been brought down here so we can investigate it further. So the charges are on there because that's what we're currently investigating into. Until we send him off there, then charges could be suspicion or it could be nothing. Until he gets sent away from that spot there, we can say that he's been done for murder. But until we prove it,
I want someone to read out the charges now to me right now. Someone, one person, Savage, read the charges out that he's got now.
So that's not counting suspicion now.
Take the suspicion off. Just read
while
out.
I'm just doing that, lads, who was actually involved in this situation that needs to stay? Because we just need to get officers back out on the state too. That's all. You're all there. Okay.
Yeah.
Do we all? So have you given your sides to the MDT and put it in?
Yep.
Yeah. I was the arresting officer.
So right now, as they put all their evidence in, you do not need these guys. Is that correct? As you're the arresting officer, Savas?
Yeah. That's...
Fantastic. Obviously, if we could get back out on shift, and then obviously I will update everyone with what moving forward, how we can obviously improve things.
Or GC1, I'd like to
improve
remain.
or not.
I'd like permission to remain for the interview because
Well,
I still
CID need to, of course,
training.
but I'm just trying to release as many as I can that don't need to be here. But obviously,
sir, I need to have a quick chat with you about something quite important.
Yeah, that's fine, buddy. If you want to just head upstairs, I'll be there in a minute. Okay.
I'll head to reception, sir. I'll see you there.
Right, so his current charges, not counting the holding money that's under suspicion, is driving without due care and attention, fleeing from police, and then taking a vehicle without the owner's consent.
Right, what's it like now?
That's going to be 40 months, not...
14 or 40? 40.
40. 40.
40.
Yes, sir.
Yo, Poe's coming in. How are we? Wow, we're smashing it. How are we? I'm very well, thank you. How about yourself? Where's the subtrain heights?
Right, okay.
Smash them emotes in the chat.
So do you want to interview him?
Said there was a guy chasing police.
Absolutely.
Cool.
We
I'll leave
still
that
need
for
to
you guys.
we still need to gain that information.
Do you need anything else from me while I'm here?
I believe not, mate. No.
Fantastic. Good speaking to you all. I'll,
if it's possible, once you're done speaking to him in reception, if you could come down and observe the interview, because of course I need to be signed off on that stuff.
Yeah, no worries. I'll observe from the observatory.
Thank you.
No worries. Frank, good speaking to you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Right, what's
the switchblade classes of offense?
What a day.
What a day. Right, let's go speak to the officer.
The thing is, I had that same thing with Frank earlier because he got caught shoplifting, that guy.
I mean,
he walked out. He walked out on an interview yesterday because I told him the solicitors are there to give legal aid, not to answer the questions for him. That's all he was doing. He stormed out, went, fuck this, just walked out. I was like, well, that's your choice.
No, of course, I understand where he's coming from. If someone's got money on them, then obviously it's our job to prove that that is legal, illegal money.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if he's stolen a vehicle, what's to say that he hasn't found that in the vehicle? He needs at that point, he needs to prove that that money belongs to him. Because otherwise, we'll be seizing that.
Well, my point to Frank was, right, you're throwing all these hypotheticals. He could have done this, could have done that. That's right. That's great. But you've not even asked him. Let's ask him what's his bloody story.
No, of course.
I know, we didn't even get that far before Frank came down saying this, that, and the other, and it was like, Jesus.
Well, let's see how to get on with that.
Just to let you know as well, just a quick spider with the system, as it were. Our panic buttons aren't working again.
I know.
They weren't when I flew in. I don't know if you're aware.
Yeah, he's trying to sort something out with that.
Nah, cool.
Sounds good.
Right, I'll let you speak to him. You want to speak to me after, so I'll be about reception.
No worries. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, thank you. Yourself, sir?
Yeah, not too bad. How can I help?
So basically, this has been brought to CID's attention as well, but I was told it needs to come further up in the rankings. There's two NDTs, MDT 4219 and 4222.
4219.
4219 is probably the most important at this time. You want to have a quick read through that, and I'll wait for you.
4219. Active investigation. Is it you that did it? Yeah.
Yeah, so I filled out 4219 and 4222 as well. Basically, sir, I've got the evidence that they were dealing heroin. I've got the evidence of the location where their lockup is. I've got the evidence of him with bladed articles, and I've got evidence of him approaching other officers, telling other officers to keep officers away from his lockup. And I've also seen him go in and out the building. He was caught then later on with heroin as well, to which he wanted to plead not guilty. He said it was nothing to do with him, even though I found it in his pocket. So he's currently on tag. He had to catch a flight, so I don't believe that he's around at the moment, but he's currently on tag. But I've got more than enough. I believe I've got more than enough evidence for CID and above to enter the premises, sir.
Did someone just fall on us then?
But Dandy did, I believe, but he disappeared again.
What the hell? Right, sorry, I just got
yeah, that's fine.
Sidetracked by that then. Accident of the building, mountain, threatening my life. The suspect was in blue, wood blade article, and walked around his yard threatening me, whilst his friend pulled his vehicle. Look. Luckily, I was able to get a plate read off the second vehicle. The vehicle come to Cam Van Jacko, Blue Ranger, okay. Really additional, separate to the situation, Mr. Lucy Crescent. Was arrested and admitted on the thing. How you doing, Palace? Till I die. Hope you're well. Nice, Trigger. Good to see you. Welcome in. You love you. Thanks, Tidge. Good to see you, my man. Hope you're well. Dan, thank you for sending some likes. It is whitelisted, yes, indeed. Thank you for sharing the live as well. Appreciate you. On the video footage, the conversation starts. Let's see. Yeah, I had some bad issues ahead. Okay. Photo. Got the blue. Interesting. Okay. Louis Crescent. And what do they're needing me because they want to go to authorize a raid, basically?
I believe so, sir. Yeah, I think the CID that were on duty at the time, which I told them again to add their involvement into the MDT, but they never did. They said it needed to go to yourself or Badanti, and obviously you were first in. I've not yet spoken to Badanti today. But I think we've got enough evidence there to warrant an arrest, because I did actually arrest Louis Crescent in another MDT, which is 4222, with an obscene amount of heroin on him, and rolled up notes, which he's currently bailed for with an anklet.
Okay. Seems like they're fairly stupid criminals. So they're gonna be posting a lot more stuff around, and they're not going about it very quietly. So it might be the case of just an active monitor for 24 hours and then just hit them hard.
Yeah, sir, absolutely. But they seem to be dealing right outside their warehouse, literally directly outside.
Well, then even more reason.
Is that the group up in Plato?
No. So do you know where is up in Vinewood Hills where the Manchester sign is? The big Manchester sign?
Yep.
It's literally the lockup on the top of that mountain above the sign.
Okay. So do me a favor then. I need CID. If you can work with CID for this occasion, because obviously you're going to be needed there anyway. But I need more evidence in this in here. I need photos of their compounds. I need photos from aerial. I need all sorts, because we need a full layout before we even entertain this.
Yeah, understood.
Because I want to know how many people come in and out of there on a rough day. These are sort of times that things happen, and how many people were expected. Because, you know, if we turn up with 10 officers and we're greeted with 15 of them, then we're underprepared. If we turn up with 50 officers and there's only 2 of them, then we're just wasting some people's time.
Yeah.
So let's get a full visual on them and their surroundings, and then we can hit them when you're ready for that. because
Okay,
I need to go. I need a full documentation to be able to go to the judge, if there was one in the city, and say this is what is happened. This is what I need. Can you authorize it because there's enough evidence here? And he can go, yep, bang, happy days.
Yeah.
So if you could find out with CID to sort that out, and then hopefully by the end of the night you might have some photos for me. Yo, Dougie, how we doing? Good to see you.
Okay, so no problem. I'll see if I can
My
get an
son's day
NPAS
was
trained
really good,
officer
thank you. Really
to take
good.
me up in the skies, and I'll see if CID can go undercover and sort of watch the area.
No problem. Have a great. Yeah, good luck with that one, and let me know how you get on.
Yeah, will do, sir. Thank you.
Perfect. Cool. How you doing?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Let me find out what's going on here. Come on in, lads. Come on in, lads.
Oh, sorry.
Cool.
Hello.
How we doing?
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Good stuff. Is that Junior out there, is it?
Yeah, I think you want one with him as well.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I might as well bring you both in.
Secondary.
Yeah, it's about what I spoke about earlier.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know when he's coming in, but obviously, just get it over with.
Perfect. Junior, obviously, I come back in Thursday night. And can you hear me all right, yeah?
Yeah.
So obviously I come back in Thursday night. I was made aware that 2 officers had been sacked. Obviously, I was made aware 1 officer was sacked. The second one was suspended. Obviously, all sackings, stuff like that, is done obviously in a Reg 15 meeting. And obviously it's done with myself, GC2, the auditor, Badandi, and stuff like that. Because obviously it's the final warning. So obviously I wasn't present for the previous one that happened. So I'm just trying to get full details on the situation.
3 months get in.
The reason being is because obviously the way we normally do it is there's no tables not turned. Everything, it goes through the correct. We've got all of the warnings. Everyone is warned. Everyone knows about their warnings, and then it's documented on the email system. Obviously through officer complaints. Then the 4th warning goes to the commander, and the commander deals with that before, and maybe sits with the silver command as well. And then obviously the 5th final warning is with GC Gold Command. Obviously, one of the things that differs slightly, but not a massive deal, is the fact that when we're dealing with PCSOs, they're in probation. So technically, at any point, you can turn around and say, "Look, you're not fitting the trial. We're gonna like terminate your contract there and then." They've not been officially enrolled as a PC, and they're still in their training probation stage. So technically, you know, they could have that happen, but obviously, you know me, I never like to get rid of anyone until the correct procedure's been done. Yo, Liquid, thank you very much for the 3 months. Let's go. How are we doing, buddy? Can you hear me okay? So that's obviously first thing. Now, just for any reasons, if it does happen or come up, I would like to get everyone that obviously dealt with the situations statements. And obviously the officer complaints that had happened, I'd like full statements to myself, so that, you know, if ever occasion where we get picked out for it or anything like that, we've got everything to cover.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Because as the last time I spoke to the 2 gentlemen was on the Tuesday, 48 hours previous to obviously finding out they'd been removed, and I'd had nothing come to me or Robbie. We basically said to them, we've been in the city a couple of days now with them, we've seen some good work, we've actually heard some good compliments about them, and I've got nothing bad to say, and no one has brought anything to me, so they must be doing okay. Obviously I don't always look at the officer complaint section, because at the end of the day, if a sergeant's dealing with it, then obviously it's in their remit to do so, and I don't need to worry myself until it obviously becomes the 4th or 5th warning. And then obviously all of a sudden come in 40 hours later and he's removed from the force due to these many complaints. So obviously I'm just trying to cover our backs to make sure that everything's covered. The other gentleman, Big Kev, will never come back into the force due to the way that he spoke to myself, Yorkshire, and Robbie when he tried to get his job back from suspension.
I was not aware about Big Kev. I was only dealing with, is it
Dibble or
Dribble. Yeah. So essentially,
I think Andy has something to say about that.
Yeah, if you want to butt in from then.
Yeah, because we had a lawyer come in yesterday, I believe.
You can hear again. How you doing, Ravi? Good to see you.
You know, saying he's going to do this unfair dismissal suit and all this.
Right.
But he seemed to have more information on officers' complaints. So he said there's an officer forced with 6 complaints, to which I rebutted saying, how do you know that confidential information?
Yeah.
To which he soon backtracked and said he had a source in PD that would get him it.
Evening all. How you doing, JB?
Look out for, I think. I don't
right.
know,
Okay.
but,
Yeah, because
try using the direct connect, Ravi.
I mean,
copy the
wasn't in
connect.mrp bj or whatever.
I was in the
and put it in your
office,
F8 menu.
typing the complaints
You should get straight
as
in.
I've been asked to do officially. I could hear. Obviously, we've got thin walls upstairs. Could hear most of what was going on.
Yeah.
He seemed to know word for word every complaint I'd more or less said before I'd even put them in the official complaint.
Who was that?
Complaints.
Dribble.
Dribble.
Dribble
Yeah,
himself.
he's very well aware. So I don't know who he knows, but for him to see information in officer complaints, you've got to be a sergeant or above. So I don't know.
Sorry, Matt. I don't know why it's saying a link. That's a link, but yeah.
Right,
So
just a point I thought I'd mention that we're all.
No, of course. Now, obviously, me on Tuesday saying that I've got no issues with him. So far, all I've heard is a good officer. And then 48 hours later, he's sacked with multiple complaints. I need to obviously back them complaints up. So in order for us to go down proper route, if they do try to come after us for unfair dismissal, then obviously we've got ourselves prepared to deal with it. Yeah. Obviously, Big Kev, I'm not asked. He's not getting ever back, so unfair dismissal is not happening. He sacked himself. He was never sacked. He was suspended pending investigation due to the fact that obviously originally Dribble was sacked due to saying that he's open investigations at us and stuff like that. Big Kev was also in that meeting that when he said it to us, so he was obviously being suspended to find out exactly what he's doing because he wasn't in the city for a couple of days. We've not been able to speak to him, so obviously when he come back in, we obviously wanted to have a meeting. He then come in kicking off saying he's going to kick all our heads in if he didn't find out why he's not been able to get on duty, stuff like that. And
right, well, that's
eventually
they do have a manner of speaking. I think
well,
I've noticed a few
obviously, yeah, if that's the way he spoke to us, then the complaints that you guys are obviously filing have got to be somewhat true. But this is about Big Kev. Obviously, I can't comment about Dribble because the way I spoke to Dribble, I've only had good encounters and he's spoken well. He's spoken quite affirmative to obviously higher command, etc. But you know he had a point to make, so he wanted to make it. I've got no issue with that side of things. But when you start turning around and saying you're going to kick officer head in and stuff like that, then obviously you're out the door.
So I've never had you guys, all right?
Sorry, mate. So I can't remember.
Yeah, no worries, Matt. Appreciate you. I hope you're well. How's your father? Is he okay?
Supposedly, yeah. So that's where apparently
no worries, Ravi.
He was like that back there. That's all I know regarding that.
Yeah, no worries, Palace. If you join my Discord in my bio, you'll be able to come into the city through there. There's a how to play section. Applications are always open, Dan. Yes. Yo, how you doing? House back up. Good to see you.
Unless you're agreeing perfectly
had an
with
interaction with. Yeah, I've had an interaction with Big Kev. Never had really spoken to him apart from his first PCSO day, where I just took him through with the other officers as his induction with all of his kit and all that kind of stuff. I've had more of an interaction with Dribble, which the information I can give.
Yeah, so let me go through the notes I have then. So let's just go through these complaints. So obviously yourself or in the hold on a sec, why have I got? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, cool. So obviously Mr. Wayne, you're the ones that obviously put all the complaints through. Was that yourself that did these complaints, or are you typing on behalf of others?
So, complaint number 1, I've received. So, I was in NHS speaking to TJ, it's a personal friend of mine. She's informed me of a incident the day before where a certain PCSO and she identified him through his voice and his crutch because he was the only PCSO that night who'd been injured in an RTC.
Right.
She identified it was him. I says, was that his name? She says, okay. Said it was more my husband. Can you go see him? Because we'd like to make a complaint. I said, yeah, that's fine. He works for customs. Pop down there. He said, yeah. He said, obviously people know me. I was down the back of Subway, just getting the car out. He was in a PCSO van around the back of Subway and clearly responding to a call about to. And he comes up alongside, says, move out the way, you fucking cunt. His exact words, and drove off. She said, it really upset me. I was in the car, so I didn't get the brunt of it. And clearly my husband didn't react with violence like he probably would usually. He's done the right thing, but we're not happy about it. It's made me feel a bit distressed. So I said, that's fine. I'll take the formal complaint and we'll make sure he's spoken to. Around the same day, this leads into complaint number 2, unless you wanted to discuss any details with number 1.
So no, I'm just writing my own notes below it.
Yeah, okay.
So essentially, obviously, we're talking about officer conduct here, or officer professionalism, I should say. Obviously, if that's confirmed, that's exactly what he said. Then obviously, you know, it's completely out of line. I mean, you'd say that maybe to someone that's been completely aggressive to you and you're arrested and there'd been all sorts of whatever, but I mean, I probably wouldn't call them the C word anyway, but
it's not a nice word to be.
No, especially from a PCSO.
Due to your honest, even if he's not on, even if you're going to remain professional at all times, you don't really want to be effing and blinding around your suspects and stuff, because that can come back on you as well. So he was spoken to that in an interview with myself upstairs about all 3 of the complaints. So if John wants to go through them,
yeah, sure,
and speak on my side afterwards.
So that leads into complaint number 2, which I believe was on the same day. May have been the day before. Obviously, he was only with us for 3 days. So this complaint was made by myself, but officially dealt with by Sergeant Aarons. So X-ray Golf 13.
12.
Is it 12? Is it?
I've
got it as 13 in the emails. Okay. Either way, Sergeant Aarons, we pulled up together, double crewed me and Aarons to a shop robbery. They were already on scene. They already had somebody in cuffs. Through the open doors we pulled up, we could hear him the way he was speaking to the suspect. He said, "Shut the fuck up. Let's cut the shit." Sergeant Aarons obviously said he wasn't happy with it at the time. I was only a PC. It's the day I got my promotion, so he sort of took lead with that. He said that's fine. He said he can confirm he's gave him a verbal warning for what he did. There was an inspector going to follow up with him regarding it, the multiple issues he's had.
Yeah, that was myself.
That was obviously, that was yourself. And that was sort of the end of that matter. Complaint number 3.
So just before we brush over the complaints, just so I'm writing my notes down. So we're talking about PCSO professionalism ×2. Was he spoken to about the subway incident before this situation?
Junior, when did you sit
down
with him?
Spoke to him. So I had all 3 of the of the complaints given to me by John.
Okay.
So
yeah.
That's when I put him up into the office and spoke to him. So I'm not too sure about that.
All right. So what I got a situation here is, how many times was he spoken to on each occasion? Because obviously, don't forget, when we're talking about warnings, it means you've brought him to a side and said, "Look, what you just did there, not acceptable. This is how we do it, and this is how we want to obviously recoach you to do it." And then obviously he's then puts himself correct.
Okay.
Has that been done for every single time that we obviously?
So let me see. So I couldn't. Let me see. So I passed on that complaint on the day to be dealt with, but I don't know what happened from there.
So why did you not? Why did you not pull him up?
So this is the thing. I was having a word just about an hour ago with someone about this, because as a sergeant, I don't know what I can and can't do. We don't, and I think it may be an idea going forward to have some sort of sergeant training. Because to me, as far as I was aware, as a sergeant, the only difference is I can tick people off checklists. That's about it. I don't know what the differences are. No one's put that across to me. It's only about an hour ago I found out I could have personally dealt with it.
I put this in.
So yeah, that's the reason I didn't. I passed it on to someone within his unit, which would have been response. I passed over the information.
You need to do
in fact, I sent
in
it to
your...
them on WhatsApp. So if I check my recents,
I believe you sent it to me, mate.
Yeah, so I think I gave it you that night, and then I also sent it to Duff because he was the highest on Chief Inspector that night. Yeah, it was the 8th of November.
There is someone in here about
And,
officer
I'm guessing,
roles.
I don't know if Duff had a word as well. I've not managed to speak to him since.
Responsibilities. Right, okay, because obviously what needs to be established is when was he dealt with these cases? Was it the case that he's had 3 warnings against him and then all 3 warnings has been brought to his attention at the same time? Or has he been recorded one after another? So the subway situation he was spoken to, then second incident. Sorry, Turner, what's that, mate?
Sorry, I really do apologise. I don't want to be butting in. Just a quick question, GC1. In terms of obviously, if a suspect pleads not guilty to a charge, and obviously a lawyer's been called down to fight them charges.
Yeah.
Are they then further allowed to plead guilty and have the prison time and the fine reduced after they've had a lawyer present?
Why would they have it reduced if they're now pleading guilty? If they're what's the... So why is he pleading guilty and wanting the time reduced now?
Because obviously now, Frank's down there. He thinks he can plead guilty. So as far as I was aware, once a lawyer's been present and we've had the interview, they can't then go not plead guilty.
Well, I mean, obviously they're saying they're not guilty, aren't they? Because of the fact, but they can still plead guilty in in court, and then obviously they can plead guilty to it. So it just all depends on your discretion, really. If you've had all of that and he goes, fuck me, okay, yeah, you have got enough evidence on me, then obviously you put the guilty charge down. You're not going to reduce any time for him being in the interview with you. You just put it as whatever the guidance says on the MDT.
No. What I mean to say is obviously because he's had the lawyer come down. We can't reduce. Can we reduce the times? From pleading not guilty to guilty, if that makes sense.
So if you've brought him down and you're arresting him for 5 charges that are equating to 100 months, if he brings a lawyer down because he doesn't think he's innocent, or he thinks he's innocent, etc., and you go through all that case for an hour. If he then goes, okay, yeah, brilliant, you've got enough on me, the lawyer says that I should plead guilty, you tick the box to say pleading guilty, and you send him down for that exact time what it says on the system.
Right, okay, that's fine.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. As far as I was aware, and I'm pretty sure, I can't remember who it was, but someone said once the lawyers come down, they basically it revokes their right to plead guilty.
No. What he's saying is it can't turn around and say, all right, I plead guilty now. I've been in here an hour, so I expect to have X amount of time taken off because of the time I spent in here. It's, well, no, at the end of the day, you wanted a lawyer because you thought you could get out of it. You've not been able to get out of it, so unlucky. We find you guilty. And then obviously you can tick it to say because ultimately that thing is saying pleading guilty is just giving them a little incentive. But at the end of the day, if he's been found guilty and he's prepared to own up to it, then obviously you can do that, but you just won't reduce time for the fact that he's been in. Yeah,
that's fine.
No worries.
Yeah, cheers.
How you doing? That was Big Kev, wasn't it? I'm not sure. I need to find out. This is what I'm saying. I've got to find out all this information. This is why I'm here. Hey, good to see you, Sitch. C. Cole, is it?
Cool.
Thank you very much for the follow. I hope you're well. Welcome in.
So I believe how it goes is PCs will complain to the sergeants, and they will put that into the officer complaint.
I'm
chat
I'm
on
almost
behalf of that PC.
certain. I swore I put a responsibilities channel so everyone can see. Where is that then?
Responsibilities. Don't even think I've seen that one before. No, I can't see that.
Police rollback.
No, just to go down and deal with Josh Keller that were refusing to get searched. Hanging around with his good old friend.
So I put the police in the police rulebook. What obviously sergeants and stuff like that would be capable
Is it
of.
in there? Is it? Okay.
Sergeants. Where is the officer complaints?
I can't seem to find it on the emails. If someone else wants to have a look
I'm
at
looking at it
I'll,
now.
I'll re-add it. It's not a problem. But essentially, obviously, what the complaint system is meant to be for is if someone stepped out of line, then you go up to them and you let them know. We're not here about ratting people out or trying to get people fired. We're here to try and educate and help, especially PCSOs, because they're always going to have issues, make mistakes, stuff like that. So and as I say to them in the interviews, Badandi's there with us. This is your perfect opportunity to try and do what you can, because you're not under any pressure to pass. You're at the end of the day, we need you and want you to pass, but you take your time to make sure you're best officer you can. And obviously sergeants and above get promoted into them roles to be managers and to be team leaders. And their idea is to guide the force when they're not doing right, or have someone there to say, right, I'm the highest on, I'm going to take charge. And obviously, if someone stepped out of line, this is where the officer complaints come in. I expect that officer complaint section to be filled out after the officer has had his warning. So it's basically a log to say, this is such and such. I've just logged him down because this is the complaint that I've just said to him. And even after, I think I might have even put it in the pin section, what the outcome was. So you turn around and say, outcome, spoke to him, said to him what he needs to do, and it's going to improve. We need to make sure we add that section after, because at the end of the day, all it's saying, all these complaints here is the data complaint, officer in question, the receiving officer, and the reason for the complaint. There's nothing there like a follow-up. So what could happen then for complaint number 2, when you're about to bollock him for the complaint number 2, let's say, you can then look at complaint number 1 and see what is the reason for it. And if it's professionalism again, what was the conclusion of the first complaint? And you can turn around and say, well, on the 7th and 11th, John Wayne spoke to you about your professionalism after that scene, and the outcome was that you were going to up your game and you weren't going to swear again or whatever. So why am I now making the second complaint about the same thing you've not learnt? And then the third complaint, well, 3 strikes and you're on your way up to the for the same thing. You're on your way up to the higher commands. You know. This is what we're talking about. We're not talking about just trying to get rid of people. We're trying to educate people. The only way we do that is by obviously having these complaint sections so we can educate. So I want to obviously, this is why if they're trying to complain about unfair dismissal, then are we looking like they've got a case for that at the moment, or?
I don't know where I heard this. I may be completely wrong. Someone told me Badandi gave him a warning. I don't know if that's true. Have you ever spoke to him on your own with him, or?
I believe I just went over with. I believe
Mills and Wills, how you doing?
What had been brought to my attention to him.
Yep.
You'll have to wait. You'll have to just watch Roadman. You'll have to obviously watch what happens.
Told me to deal with him on a warning by yourself, on behalf of yourself, which is what I did for his 3 warnings.
You know, I don't.
He definitely said it to me in the station. Them words, but I don't know.
I don't know how many.
Just trying to find out.
Same thing. To be honest, it's.
Well, especially as a PCSO on probation, obviously, when you have these type of complaints, I'm like, at the end of the day, these complaints can be valid, but what I've said to my higher ups and like Badandi, etc., is the same thing when certain officers have been removed from divisions. Remember when a load of people got removed, Alex and stuff like that got removed from armed response?
Yeah.
CID officers, Mr. Summerfires got removed from CID.
Yes. Yeah.
I was the person that went to CID. I was the person that went to ARU and said, "Why have they been removed? They've done multiple things wrong, etc." Okay, how many times have you brought them in and done some training on it? How many times have you brought them in and trained them on that specific thing? None. Okay, so how are you gonna make sure that they don't do that thing wrong? You're almost setting them up to fail.
Yeah.
And this is the same thing when I'm talking about, yes, these complaints may be valid, but if we're just logging them in our head and on the system and not actually bringing them to the officer's attention, how are they going to think it's wrong, especially being a PCSO? And how are they going to improve on it?
I believe this, from what I've heard now, I believe the second one was brought to attention.
Okay.
I'm not sure about the first one because I wasn't there.
Yeah, I think the first one we've potentially not acted on. The second one, Sergeant Reynolds has obviously gave him a verbal warning himself. I've sent you his statement. I don't know if you've received that. He said he apologised. He couldn't be here tonight, but he has typed up his statement.
Yeah, I've got that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've not read that myself, but I've sent it over. And then complaint number 3. I believe that's where we've got to where we are today. I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's where it was brought up to me.
Is that where we? Yeah. Okay.
Because, obviously, when I spoke to him on the Tuesday, he was complaining about being bullied, and obviously he complained that Junior had come to him with 4 different complaints that he's had, and that obviously he's on his final warning before it goes to Silver Command, etc., or up to Gold. Now, he felt that obviously he's being bullied because, like, well, where these 4 complaints come from? Why am I on my last warning? That was his words to me. And obviously, if we're starting to paint a picture that he's only been warned once for something, and he's got 3 warnings, and obviously Junior's then gone, well, you're on your final warning, then I can kind of see where he was coming from, but ultimately that's why I brought you guys in here, to get your side so we can find out and paint a better whole picture from both sides.
Yeah. If you want me to go through the meeting I had with himself after we go through his 3rd warning, I can tell you the whole thing straight away.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I recall when he spoke to yourself, because he was not yourself, GC1, when because he was asking me at first outside the front of PD. He said he'd got some...
He smelled Hayden Jacobs.
I kept asking about someone called Lucas Smith. He said, is he a police officer? I said, don't know.
I'll be right back. Just going 2 seconds.
Don't know what that was about. I don't know if that was linking to a complaint from him or what, but he kept asking, this Lucas Smith, apparently he's an officer undercover. And I was like, don't know what you're talking about, mate. Don't even know who he is. Yeah, he seemed to know a lot. I don't know why. But...
Well, there's a few aspects we've got here. Obviously, the first aspect is the manner in which he's obviously come across, which is where all these complaints have equated from. The second point is that he's come across like he's doing it his way rather than the way that we're trying to obviously install in every officer. And obviously, for instance, PCSOs are all taught in training how to do a certain way, and then obviously PCs and above then gradually form their own style around the standards that we obviously set. PCSOs are learning our standards. If they're already going on about doing stuff their own way and not listening and doing everything else, then how are we going to install that standard in them without them going above and beyond, sort of thing? So that's where the second aspect of this dismissal may have come in. Obviously, like I say, I've just been informed about the Wednesday situation where he was dismissed, and he was in the meeting saying that he has evidence on people being corrupt, but he wouldn't let them know exactly who was corrupt. He's just going through there. And I was told that you were in the meeting as well, was you, Junior?
Yes, I was. I was standing there with them, and I was the one that showed him out the door, taking his badge and everything off him.
Right, okay. Because obviously, like I say to anyone, I'm always entertained that I hate corruption in the force. You'll never see me do corruption. Well, I'd like to think you wouldn't see me do corruption
I'm
regardless.
right with you there, mate.
But ultimately, you know, until we find evidence of corruption, then, you know, we'll deal with it when it comes.
So,
if someone's got evidence, then I'm always welcome to bring it to us. But when they just make accusations or whatever without having the proof there, and they're not going to involve, go on.
Can I just clear something up as well? Because am I under the impression that Junior has sacked him? Because I was under the impression it's only he physically can't take a badge off someone.
No, it's only me, GC2 or Badandi that can.
So
Yorkshire as well, because
he was officially let go by GC2 Yorkshire.
Oh, okay.
So he was officially told that he has been terminated, and I just went, "Do you want me his badge and stuff off him and show him out?" And they went, "Yeah, if you could do that for me." So that's what I did.
Okay.
I was following the instructions of GC2 and Yorkshire.
Okay.
I need to paint this picture just in case anything does happen. Obviously, Badandi made me aware.
You go for it, Tom.
But Dandy made me aware yesterday that the lawyers were on to something, that they wanted to come and investigate it. So obviously, as I said at the very start, when someone's sacked, it always goes through a Reg 15. It's always a meeting arranged with myself, Robbie, and the commander of the unit. We go through everything from bottom to top, and they walk out that door physically knowing that everything that they've done is wrong and the reasons why, and then they walk out of it not necessarily happy, because at the end of the day no one's happy that they're being fired, but they know the reasons why, and whether they like it or not, that's the way we do it. Obviously,
so when we were in this meeting, he wasn't going to be sacked.
Okay.
Me and Yorkshire, we were just going. So I'll give you a little information. We saw a marker on the map. So one of his what is it?
Of course,
when you go on the sat nav, and you see someone. He was up at his own address, with no call sign. We didn't know who it was. He wasn't on the radio or anything like this. So myself, Yorkshire, myself, and a few other lads went up there just to see who it was. And he was up there in his PSSO van with another vehicle who was in it. And we walked up to him because we were just asking why he wasn't on radio whilst he's still got his tracker on and all this kind of stuff. G2, if you're on duty, then you should always either be on the radio or be letting people know you're state 4.
Yeah, of course.
And he was talking to the vehicle. As I walked up, the conversation seemed to switch because I walked up and then because he was up
no worries,
10-15 minutes.
We can do that. Guide the rate.
So as I walked up, the conversation.
It's not all set up. No, it's not. Nothing's set up in RP.
Started to switch about plates, so I wouldn't.
Well, nothing in my thing is set up anyway.
Warning for a plate should take 20 minutes, if that. It should take not even 5. So he was talking about. So as I walked up, talking about that, and I just asked him, "What's he doing up there with his PSSO van and his uniform and stuff like that?" Because he's gone to his home address. You're not really supposed to take your vehicle to your home address because it's a government vehicle. He said he was just about to go state 11. So that's fine. He went into his address afterwards, saying that he needs to go state 11 back at 7 o'clock, which is when myself and Yorkshire did talk to him about what was happening. So we pulled him in the office about it, just asking him why he was up there. And then on the way back from where he was, one of the other officers said that he's seen him a few times down in alleyways, just acting a little bit dodgy.
What officer was that?
I can't remember his name now. Dawson, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was.
Dawson.
Okay, 2 secs. Let me just take this.
Yeah,
2 secs.
Get him
Oh,
up.
it's a lawyer.
He's on
Hold
shift.
on.
I can bring him up here.
Hello.
Hello, Tom. This is HP.
How you doing, HP? You okay?
I'm good. I'm good. I hope you're not busy. I'd like to come. I'd like us to have a meeting anytime soon, whenever you're busy, whenever you're free.
Yeah, could we schedule it for about 10:05? I'm just in a meeting myself, and 10:05 should work.
1 second.
Okay, now I'm boring you, am I?
No. It's no. I'm in a different time zone in my head. That's why. But yeah. Sure.
Perfect.
10:05.
See you at 10:05.
Yeah.
Bye. Cool. He wants to come and speak to me about something. I'm not sure what.
Put some information to myself. Yeah, that's fine. Dawson put some information to myself about him seeing him in alleyways with some dodgy people. on his own. So he went to check out and saw who it was and just left because it didn't seem anything out of the ordinary. But I told him just to tell that to Yorkshire, just because that's a little bit dodgy when you're just down in alleyways on your own with no lights on or anything like that, just talking to someone as you're on shift. It's can be a little bit dodgy. So Dawson put it towards Yorkshire with myself there, and Yorkshire just said,
could you try and call Dawson down quickly?
Yeah, I was going to.
Yeah.
X-ray Delta 25. Try again.
Sorry, carry on while you're.
X-ray Delta 25.
Yeah. So put it to Yorkshire, and we pull. So he come back in city, and Yorkshire was in city. I just said to Yorkshire, "Do you want me to put him in the office and I'll wait for you?" So that's what we did. We pulled him into my inspector's office upstairs, or the inspector's office upstairs. So we were just talking to him about why he was there and all this kind of stuff. Then Bradandi and GC2 walked in. So Yorkshire went outside with GC2 and just gave him a little bit of the lowdown on the story and what's happened about the stuff like this.
He's on his way up. Sorry, he's on his way up.
Thank you.
Then Dibble, kind of just off on one about officers being corrupt, and he's got information about officers and he wouldn't want to share it. That's where we were with you. Didn't want to share it to people and all this. So that's the information I was given why he was sacked. I didn't know he was getting sacked, and that's. So I walked outside and just said, "Well, guys, what's happening?" And then said, "Oh, we'll just walk back into the room. You'll get the information there." So we walked back into the room, and GC2 terminated his contract. That's all I know. But I can tell you about the information of my little interview with him about what happened with the 3 complaints that I was given by Wayne in a minute. Once we go through the third complaint.
So essentially, he was sacked for refusing.
That Dawson.
He was sacked for refusing.
Come in, buddy.
To comply, and was not following regular duties. Despite being sent. Despite. Hold on 2 secs. Despite being told by GC1.
Are we in trouble?
No.
On Tuesday. To stand down from any
that's not right.
investigation.
That's it very awkwardly in this job.
Any investigation.
Hello, Tom. How are you?
Very well, sir. Yourself? Any investigation.
I'm nervous.
You're not in trouble, mate. Good.
You should be. Very nerve-wracking for you right now.
To be honest, I'm just nervous around you. To be honest, Tom.
Yeah, it's good to see. It's what we want.
You just give that vibe.
Tom likes a bit of a power play.
That's it. No. So what it is, buddy, we've obviously you made a few reports. So I just want to give you a rundown. Obviously, 2 officers were sacked in the week.
10 minutes, if that, mate.
While I was obviously not around. So I'm getting all the evidence I can because I've been made aware by Badani that there's potentially a unfair dismissal claim coming in. So I just want to obviously.
Not bad, Dan. How are we doing, mate?
Good. I'm good, thanks.
See you pass your dog training, mate.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, fine.
Perfect, cool. So sorry, I don't know what you just heard then, but what basically happened is obviously 2 officers have been sacked in the last few days while I wasn't around. So I've been made aware that Badandi have had lawyers come to us and say that they're potentially looking at an unfair dismissal. So I'm getting all the evidence I can because I wasn't around for the sacking. Obviously, one thing that's been highlighted is that you made a few claims that Officer Dribble was seen in alleyways with his lights off speaking to people. So I just want to get yourself to elaborate on that a little bit and just find out what you've seen.
Flying up the hill towards the
I haven't
warehouse, and Watson said there's only one road up and one road
I think I
back.
might have got the wrong person. Might be my fault. I'm just trying to remember who it was. When did you pass your? When did you pass out your piece of test, mate?
This like the Monday just gone. So I've just I was TPC, but Monday just gone. I passed to PC.
I know it was an SO. I can't remember his name now. Then.
Right. Okay. No worries, Dawson. Don't worry. It's we'll disregard that then. No worries. Apologies for you coming down.
No, no,
Sorry,
fine.
Junior, if you open the PCSO tracker, you should be able to. Maybe his name will jog your memory. If you see it.
Can I speak to you while I'm here?
Yeah, go on.
Quickly. John Wayne already knows. Do you know the situation that I spoke about?
Would I ever join?
About
the RP is fun, and
it's
it's really fun to watch. No Pixel.
A criminal.
So essentially I've been made aware of it, but was told them that obviously need to investigate further before they even involve me myself. Because obviously essentially I was told that you were instructed by a higher up to do so.
Yes.
Now if that is the case, then you've got nothing to worry about anyway. We just speak to the higher up to find out why they've done what they've done, and then we go from them. But obviously if as long as you have been instructed by a higher up, then you're covered, because at the end of the day a higher up takes the blame,
so
or
he
takes
admitted
the situation
that to Bedanda.
Fine, perfect. You've got nothing to worry about then.
Okay, I was gonna say, because CRD's pulled me into a room and like pulled it all back up, and I was like, Bedanda told me it was done.
Yeah, it's done with yourself, but then what may happen is if because now they're investigating to why it's happened, if for whatever reason they just need to add a few information from yourself, then that may happen, but you will not be in trouble at all from it.
Okay, that's fine. Obviously.
Yeah, well, DJ Dipper, welcome in. Thank you for
the follow. Guys, I'll leave you be. I'm gonna go back to it too.
No worries, buddy. Have a good one.
Bye.
Would you ever make GC3? I'll put Yorkshire forward for it. I'll put Yorkshire for GC3. Okay, right. So it's not Officer Dawson. I'll just say an officer at the moment. And you're saying it's a PCSO?
Can you hear me?
It was a PCSO at the time. I'm not sure if they
I have a
passed out.
feeling I know what you're on about. I think was it Vance?
No.
Was it Vance either or King?
No.
Okay. There's only a handful.
So essentially, someone had made reports, so you just wanted to bring him up on it.
Yes.
Okay.
That was why he was brought into office. Well, he was brought into the office by not being on radio.
Yeah.
No call sign on and stuff like that.
Okay. Right, we've got 5 minutes until I have this interview then. So the final point then with regards to all this then.
The final complaint was made by myself. So we were sent down Michael O. It was the third time I'd sent him to prison that night, because he kept escaping straight away. He's very good at it. So that time, I said, that's fine. We'll make our way down there now, as we sent him. We all went down. There were 3 or 4 of us there. And I says, what we'll do, we'll observe him from afar. We'll go on you can go up the stairs and the ladder instead of going through the kitchen, the main way. So it says, right, we'll go up there. When we go up, obviously keep your voices down. If you've got a high vis on like myself or PCSO, take it off, because we don't want him to see us just while we're in the prison. He refused. I says, right, he's going to see us if we have it on. He said, yeah, it's my uniform. I said, I understand that, but for the purpose of this, it's only for maybe a few minutes. No, I can't do it. I'm not doing it. I says, okay. And then Michael saw us because he had his vest on. He started talking to us, and he was like, "Oh, why don't you come down here to the PCSO, say it to my face, sort of thing." So he was trying to like throw threats out. He's like, "Fine, I'll come down and speak to you then." And I said, "No, don't go down there." He says, "Why?" He says he wants to speak to me, and I'm going to go and have a chat with him. Then I says, "I understand that. However, we can't legally enter the prison grounds without a call from the guards or another reason, like we have reason to believe he's got weapons or contraband. If he's just throwing threats, just ignore him. There's no need." And he was like, "Well, I'm going down there." I says, "Listen, I'm going to make it very clear. If you go down there, I'm going to walk away, because when you get in trouble for this, I'm not being brought up with it." And he said, "Fine, then I won't do it," and then followed us out. But he just point blank just ignoring me, more or less. Just wouldn't do what I asked him.
Perfect. And you brought him to a side after that and spoke to him about it, did you?
Well, I didn't, because I told him there and then, can't be doing that. I felt that was put to bed. I didn't know at the time that sergeants can issue verbal warnings and escalate through that way, so I didn't, because I'd spoke to him there and then about it.
So essentially, this is more just a slap on the wrist rather than a complaint.
Yes.
I guess so. I just put it in because I was told to put anything in that had happened, any official sort of needing to talk to, sort of thing. But yeah, that wasn't as major as the swearing at members of the public, and that was dealt with in-house, sort of thing. So yeah, you could classify that as that.
Okay. So we've got. Yep, go on.
Yep, go for it. I'll tell you about him being brought into the office with me if you would like to go through that. Well, if you like that.
Yeah. So obviously, we're talking about you then addressing. So Junior addressing the complaints.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Go on then.
So I went over radio and just asked Dandy just for some advice. Do you want me just to put him on a warning from yourself as Silver Command? He said, "Yep, that is fine. Just put it on as Silver warning. Just explain to him that he can't do it again. Just explain that he's had 3 warnings against him. If it goes any further, he could be brought up to higher up." So essentially, we went into the office, and he was all right for the first part of it, and I just made him aware that there had been quite a few complaints against himself, his conduct, and the way he has spoken to people. So I was talking to him about it, and then he started going off like, "Oh, I never knew anything about these complaints. I was never talked to about it," and just being a bit rude to myself. I just said, "Okay." So we kept going through the complaints, what John has given me through the WhatsApp and the emails. Went through them, told him about that we're doing this. You're being placed on your Silver Command warning on behalf of Badan to you by myself, due to your conduct and your professionalism in and around PD.
Yep.
So he was placed on that, and he kept going, "Oh well, I'll just be a lone wolf then. I won't be following orders from some people because I have an idea of who these complaints have come from. I have an idea about corruption within the PD and who's corrupt and all this kind of stuff." Just going on about it, and I was just like, "Okay, it's fine. If you give me who you corrupt, I can take that up to the higher up about it." He was like, no, I'll keep it to myself. I'll make a list about it, and then I'll act upon it myself. I was like, if you do that, that's not going to be good for yourself. You need to give them to myself now, because there's something that you're not paid here to do. That is for the higher to do, the anti-corruption team with Self Band. So I just explained to him that he needs to give me them. If not, this could go further. He was formally placed on his Silver Dandy. I said, this isn't your final warning. This is your second, I guess, warning. If this does go higher to Gold Command, you may act. It's not your final warning from them. They can keep you on. Even if Gold Command do pull you in office, it's not about you being sacked or anything. So
you can't be demoted from a PCSO. You are the lowest.
Decision, not mine.
So that's what we're saying. If you're being demoted from a PCSO, that means you're getting removed from the force because you're on probation at this point. You're not on.
And I told.
You're in the force, but you're still in training.
On the day that he was given his P45, I had no idea about him being given his P45. Like I explained to you.
Yo, Demo Ryan, welcome in. Thank you very much for the follow. I hope you're well.
Up in the area where he was at his home address with his PCSO van and all this kind of stuff, where he can't really be taken out of PD. Unless he's on patrol, which at the time he wasn't. He was state 4, which wasn't explained to anyone over radio.
John, while you're waiting,
so
can you just get HP, please?
That came into the office with myself, GT2, Bradandy, and Yorkshire, where we explained to him he can't be doing this, and then he still went on about the corruption, about who's corrupt and all this kind of stuff. Never told us any names or anything like
good to see you.
I did say
it was my son's birthday, not myself.
By myself, that needs to be explained to myself.
Ashton coming on the rose and the rainbow. Thank you so much on TikTok. Appreciate you. Apologies, guys. I'm so trying to do this interview. I haven't answered anything on TikTok or Twitch in comments. So if I missed anything, please do type it back, and I'll try and get to answer.
Well, I'm guessing implying that he's only going to do things his way. So GC2, Bradandy, and Yorkshire went out of the office. I went out there just at the last minute, and and they said, I just asked them what's going on. Am I letting him go or anything? And they said, we'll just come back in the office. We'll sort it out. So we all walked back into the office, and Yorkshire just went. Yep.
Hello.
1 second. Hello.
Hello.
Are you available at the moment?
Yeah, I'm just in my office at the beginning where the reception is.
I am currently in the cells. I'll just let someone escort me.
I'll get someone to come and get you.
Alright, yeah.
Thank you.
At the cells area. Thank
Perfect. Cheers. John, can you go get HP, please?
Yeah, where is he?
He's down in the cells.
Nay bother.
Thank you all. Cool.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you'll GC2 and Andy all walked back in the room. And Yorkshire went to GC2. This is you now. Your decision. GC2 saying that this is your last within the PD.
Thanks, Nikki.
You have now your contract been terminated with Greater Manchester Police Department.
Yeah, just
so that's
something else. But
that's it. Yeah.
So that was the final of it, and that's when I took his badge and his vest and all that stuff.
Okay, no worries. I'll speak to this lovely fine gentleman, and I'll catch up with you in a little while. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Just before you do, I've got one more thing I need to make you aware of with this system. So earlier on, we bailed someone. Well, no, sorry, we were halfway through an interview just before the storm hit.
Yeah.
With Mr. HP as well. Put his client on a tag just in case he didn't fly back into the interview.
Yeah.
When we returned from the storm, it said this citizen doesn't have a tag on. That might be an issue. If you fly out or back in, your tag doesn't remain, or the storm knocks it off. I don't know. It may need looking into or testing.
Yeah.
Just to bring it to your attention, because if we're bailing people and they get word of that, that's an exploit right there. They can just fly out and in and go back to square one.
That's fair enough.
Then yeah, it got sorted.
Well, as long as you've got the name, then you're good enough from there. You can make a lottery and they'll
yeah, of course. Well, originally, he said he wasn't going to come back on the phone because somehow he appeared in the solicitor's app on the phone. Right. I don't know if HP can confirm if he was a solicitor at one point, but do you remember that interview we had earlier, just before the storm?
Oh yes, that person, yeah.
Teal. He was obviously I placed him on the tag. Come back in City, the tag had vanished, but he was down as a solicitor on the app for some reason.
Huh?
Yeah. That's how I managed to contact him. So he said his name was in the as a solicitor in City, and I thought that's weird.
Shouldn't be now because you've obviously sent him to prison, but
his name
yeah.
What was his name again? Sorry.
His surname was Teal. Let me just get his first.
Oh wait, I think I have. Wait, let me check.
Teal.
Kyron Teal, Kyron.
Oh, he's been fired,
unfortunately, we can't. No, you'd need to
he was on it,
obviously have a PC to be in our city. But there are police
I'm a free man on
mods for PlayStation. If you want to join my Discord in my bio on TikTok, you can obviously do the PlayStation or the Xbox side of things from there. They're not as good because it's not as many mods.
Yeah, no worries.
There's a still standard.
With the anklet stuff. It may be because he was somehow employed, but I don't know.
No worries, bud. Thank you.
No worries.
Mr. HP, how are we doing?
Hello, hi. All good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. How can I help?
So there's a lot of issues, lots of issues.
Right.
Would you mind taking us to your private room so I can talk normally?
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you.
I would just recommend remaining on a hushed voice. Seems like I'm going to be stuck in here for a little while. Oh, hello.
What the?
Oh, hello, Mr. HP.
Who's that man?
You got it, Tom?
It's Forrester.
Yeah, I'm good, mate.
Who's that man?
That's Josh Kelly. He's off duty.
Ah, no worries. Perfect. Cool. Just want to make sure that we've not got an imposter in here.
Yeah, no, he's
How you doing, Josh? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I just have to make a complaint. Just a quick one, Tom. Just a quick conversation. I don't want to take your time. Because I'm off duty, is that enough evidence for someone to search me?
No, but
you'd need
Mr.
grounds
Videndi,
to search.
Mr. Bedendi told me, by the way, Kelly. He said that you threatened to kill a teddy bear, and there was
I
only
did
one
know.
teddy
This
bear
was
in the
someone
city.
put words in my mouth. I'm an officer. I would not go around threatening to kill someone.
Right,
if you can find evidence of that, then obviously I'll obviously admit it. But there's no evidence out there, and that was a false allegation.
All right, perfect. I'll meet you soon. At the moment, I have bigger fish to fry.
Not to worry,
if you
H.
get what I mean. Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Just have a good evening now.
Cheers for your time, Tom.
Look
Take
after
care,
yourself,
mate. Happening? How you doing, Chrissy boy? Good to see you. Welcome in.
How do I?
Hey,
Can I call
Yorkshire,
you
you okay?
Constantine? Constantine fits you.
Do you need me
Why
at
is
all?
it? Yeah, I just wanted a little chat. Why is he mocking me?
No, I'm not mocking you. I was trying to say Constantine fits you.
You never sent me that. You never sent me that address name.
I never said. Whoa, what?
The web page.
Oh, I'll send it to you later.
Right,
Forrester, do you mind seeing Mr. HP to my office, please? And I'll be there in a second.
Yeah, sure. I'd like
Thank
to
you.
speak to you as well once you're done with him, if that's okay.
Yeah, no worries. If you book into my busy schedule, I'm sure
I appreciate you've not been able to get your foot out of this station.
I'm sure my PA at some point will happily book you a slot. Go on.
Let's go. Come on, mate.
Yeah, what's up, mate?
How are you anyway?
Do you know Mr. Wayne Kerr?
Mr. Wayne Kerr? Yeah, he's a long lost brother, mate.
Right.
Why's that? Is he in the city with me tonight, is he?
Yeah, it looks that way.
Yeah, that's understandable. You said the name. It was from, you know what it was from, so I'm not even going to sit here and say any more. Thank you.
Yeah, listen.
What?
Am I being daft here, or did I hear a ruling around on the radio while being pulled over?
Sorry?
Like radioing in and asking for backup
from
gangs
PD
and stuff
or
like that. No, from gangs, a gang's point of view. Can they do that?
Technically, yeah, I guess so. There's nothing stopping them.
I
mean, it depends on the situation, doesn't it? Because if you're pulling over for speeding, they're not going to want their full gang to turn up and intimidate, are they? Unless they've literally got no money or whatever. But if they've got stuff on them, then they may ask.
We've caught someone red-handed for drug dealing, and then all of a sudden I've got other people coming to the scene, and it's like I don't understand how they've managed to do that. Do you know what I mean?
If they've radioed through and said it, then they can do that. Because I guess if you get pulled over and you've got a load of evidence on you.
One sec, Tom. Yeah.
I know everyone. It's the typical as GC1. That's what happens, isn't it?
No one read his
Unfortunately,
rights.
that's what happens. But it's good because you guys get to see the way I work and how hard I try to make this PD the best PD I can, and the least corrupt, the least whatever. If you're not happy in PD, I want to know about it to try and improve it.
Well, there's not we can really do with it. I mean, he's got let off the
people may see from different people's point of views. They've got different concepts of the police. You see how I'm trying to run it. I'm the picture of the police, and how I try to run it. At the end of the day, is how it should be run.
The rights read, and then
officer got proof that he's read the rights, or can vouch for it.
I've asked the criminal for if he's got proof.
I mean, if we've said the rights, we're not needing to prove ourselves. It's bollocks. If you've said it, you've said it. If you haven't said it, or you're unsure of saying it, then you're unsure, and you may not have said it then. But if you're not 100%,
it's not that as well. He's literally just got off a jail sentence. Been given, I think 8 months or 8 whatever it is, community service.
Right.
So you know what I mean? It's just not worth getting into a big thing about over
No, it's not. But if officers are doing the standard correctly as we teach them, then they've got nothing to worry about. Just say, mate, shut up. You get read your rights every time because as soon as I put you in cuffs, you read your rights. Job done.
Well, it was just a bit of a mad chaotic scene, to be honest.
No, of course. Cool, let me go deal with this because otherwise I'm going to be fucking here all night.
Yeah, no worries. I'll see you when you're out.
See you in a bit. I will, at some point, Maxi will be going on patrol, yes, but obviously you guys get to see everything. Nate, how you doing? Good to see you. I will get out in the city, don't you worry. I will get out in the city.
Yeah.
Apologies.
Hello,
How we
Tom.
doing?
No,
Would you like me
Appreciate
to
you,
leave you the
Forrester.
room?
Yes, please. Obviously, I'll catch up with you afterwards. Geltrude, welcome in. Thank you very much
Yeah,
for the follow. Hope you're well.
it's just required. It's just about that dirty money stuff. I kind of need to give you an important update on it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'll do my very best to get out as quickly as I can. If I don't, then obviously please just drop me a reminder in my emails.
Yeah, nice. Can I get your number? Because I don't have your number yet, and I'll give you mine.
I'll set up the
certainly.
date.
Let me just suggest.
Would you like your date to be? Oh my! Would you like your date to be dinner or lunch?
Isla for Nando's, please.
Oh, Nando's. I see.
Thank you, darling.
All right, thanks, mate. I'll see you around.
See you soon.
See
you later, Mr. P.
Want to sit on the? See ya. Want to sit on the couch?
Let's sit on the couch. I mean, it's hopefully not going to be one of these. Sit as close together. We'll hold each other's hand, will we, so we don't get heard.
Yeah, I don't want to be heard, obviously. Let me just. Yep, you can hear me still, can you?
I can hear you perfectly.
Perfect. All right. So a lot of things have been going on when you're not in the city.
Right.
A lot of things. Now, do you remember the officer that you were talking to with dreadlocks and dark skin?
Yes, the
room?
one just there. Yes, yeah, Junior. Yep.
Yeah, Junior. Yes. That officer has a attitude.
Coming in with a gifted sub. Let's go, my man. Thank you. Your first gifted sub to channel, my man. Thank you. Appreciate that. Welcome in, Kempy. How you doing?
Another person together.
OP, how you doing? I'll catch up in a second.
Very shit, is what I would say.
Right.
And I did do a formal complaint on him via the dandy, and I hope it, touched somewhere, but I don't think it's going anywhere. Due to the reasons that I'll be continuing onwards. I'll tell you why. But I've been aware by a client of mine.
Yeah, I agree, OP.
That he was unlawfully dismissed from his job, which was him being an officer.
Right, okay. What's his name that we're referring to?
Let me grab his name off of my notes. Hold up. Peter Charles Dribble.
Okay.
Right. So Peter Charles Dribble has been unlawfully removed from his, or fired, I would say, from his job. And the 4 officers in that room were Officer Benandi, Gold Command 2, Officer Junior, and Mr. What was his name? Fuck me. Yorkshire. Mm-hmm. There we are. So I'm just gonna say this from the bat. I do have the evidence.
Yep.
I can show you the evidence. It's a 30-minute long clip, and you can have whenever you please. You can just refer to it and then just watch it. It just states that how bad it is because they do not have any evidence. The only evidences they have is that he got 4 complaints against him from some random people that do not have any evidence to back them, basically. And I do have someone, and I will not be addressing their name at the moment, who told me that there are officers out there with way more warnings and complaints against them, and they're fine, and they're still in the police department. So you can tell me, because you are Gold Command 1, and I wanted to speak to you alone in private, because I'm not doing an investigation. I'm not an investigator. I'm just a lawyer. But at the same time,
see, I've seen that already, OP, with the fact that my TikTok's blown
when
up.
you're not here.
My Discord's got over 2,000
people in,
and a lot of people come in, obviously, message me and say...
into understanding everything. In the end, I'm helping
obviously,
you
we're here
and helping
to come
my
and
citizens,
watch and
or my clients,
join us, so...
because some officers out there are very bad.
No,
so I've got a call also one day of an officer refusing to let my lawyers
come
do
on
their
over,
job
Palace. Feel free to come and join.
PD.
Come and join my Discord in my bio.
Then how's that even, like, to me, that's just, even after that meeting that we had, to me it's just unbelievable. It's shocking.
So it's I'm glad that you've obviously brought this to my attention, because as you know from the PD meetings you've watched, from hopefully the understanding that you've got from other people in the city that have said about me, obviously I take everything seriously. I make sure that we try and have the best police force we can, and the standards that I introduce are the standards that are set and agreed by all, and are to a standard that the outside world are happy with, and the criminals are happy with as well. When they're not followed, then obviously it's down to that officer in question to answer for that. If it's not, then obviously he gets a warning and moves forward from there. I was made aware that yourself was going to be approaching me at some point by Badandi, because obviously you asked him yesterday about it. NJ, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. And obviously I've been doing my own investigations today around the sacking of obviously the both officers. Now, I say both officers because obviously there was 2 officers that were obviously removed. The first officer being Dribble, and the second officer being a Big Kev. Now, Big Kev was never fired. He was suspended. What happened was, obviously, essentially on a Tuesday, I had a meeting with them both around something that I'm obviously going to elaborate very shortly. On the Wednesday, Mr. Dribble was fired when I was out of the city, and then, which I'll obviously again explain. And then on the Thursday, Mr. Big Kev come back in because he was not in on a Wednesday. And what happened, essentially, I've been told, due to the nature of why Mr. Dribble was removed from the force, and the fact that Mr. Big Kev was in the room and everything on the Tuesday with myself, he was suspended pending investigation into basically we wanted to have a chat with him to find out his points of view due to the fact that he was associated with Mr. Dribble and obviously riding around with him. So on the Thursday he turns up, wondering why he's not got his job. He starts telling officers that he's going to kick our heads in and all sorts if we don't, find out, blah, blah, blah. Comes into my office very, very rude and abrupt. I told him to wind his neck in and sort his attitude out. Again, didn't like that, told me many words. I said, I do not know because I've just flown in myself, so I'm going to have to find out at 9 o'clock. You can come back and find out from GC2 and myself when we're in together, because if that's what GC2's done, then obviously we need to find out in the city to obviously establish that. He come back at 9 o'clock. He gave Yorkshire a whole of abuse. Who the fuck are you, etc. Blah blah blah, etc etc. And obviously went off on one. Yorkshire obviously got his back up straight away and went, well, hang on a minute. I immediately flew in the city, or not immediately. Sorry, what's the word? I was flying into the city and landed on the spot outside police station as it was happening. And had my body cam rolling the whole thing, and essentially he was calling us all sorts. I said, look, you come in with this attitude, I'm not even entertaining, you can leave now. He then dropped the attitude for a second. We got into the station, went off on one about everything. He was calling us all sorts, and then we said, right, we're not being spoken to like this. You're never coming back, so you're leaving. So essentially that was he fired himself. And it was due to the fact that we wanted to speak to him about the instance with Dribble. We'd not had any complaints from himself. It was the fact that he was part of this situation that we're trying to establish, and we wanted to know more, and that's why he'd been suspended pending investigation. But he fired himself due to what he said and stuff like that. So obviously that side of things, I don't know if you had that as well on your cards to talk about, but I'm just letting you know from now that was dealt with on the day because of the way he spoke to us. So we'll move away from that side of things, and obviously that's how I'll leave that.
And is there evidence, since you've been investigating Dribble?
Yep.
Is the evidence sufficient to be firing him?
So
because based on the evidence that I've got from him, it's not sufficient whatsoever.
So he addressed the situation to me on Tuesday. He come into my office with Mr. Big Kev, and this conversation went along the lines of GC2, GC1, I have evidence of your officers being corrupt. I have been doing some investigation on my own, and I want to know whether Lucas Smith is corrupt, because he's been splurting around here. I believe he's working for the police force, and if you don't tell me, I'm going to be doing my own investigations on him. And basically, I need to know if whether I need to shut my mouth or I need to investigate further. And we were like, whoa, hang on a minute. Like, a PCSO who's in training, only been on the job 2 days, coming to us already saying he's going to like go and investigate certain things, do certain things. He's not even passed his processing, like his checklists. And all of a sudden I've got PCSOs who are in training telling me that I've got officers corrupt and all this. It's great that he's obviously putting himself out there, because that's obviously what we want. But when I've got people that are not even passed as a PC yet, or passed any sort of basic training, telling me that he's going to be doing investigations on potential officers, stuff like that, and then I was like, whoa, hang on a minute, right, this is where we need to sort of establish the line here. As obviously you rightly said to your guy on training, you can't take any cases at the moment because I need to take them with you. So you've all of a sudden, it's like him coming to you and going, I've just taken 3 cases on these people, I think this, blah, 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 and you're going to go, whoa, hang on a minute, fucking hell, I told you, you're on training here, you could have ruined your whole, like, status a lot, you could have put yourself in jeopardy, blah, 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 you know, this type of stuff, and you could have, like, literally put lawyers in the shit. So you've acted above your pay grade, essentially. And that's what I was telling him. I said, look, Lucas Smith come into the station, he's shouting out that he wants to give us information. He does not work for the police force, I'm going to tell you that. But even if he did, you're trying to tell me about an officer who's working undercover and almost exposing him. If he's undercover, which, you know, of course, people in gangs have people working elsewhere. Police, we try to find things out through the matter of the city, etc. But a PCSO trying to expose an officer, it just doesn't make sense, does it? If we're talking in correct terms. But again, if he's got corrupt information, he's happy to bring evidence to the table, then of course I will do my best to obviously entertain it. And essentially it went down the lines of you're acting above your pay grades. You need to wind your neck in and act your or go with your pay grade, act your rank, etc. Absolutely, that's exactly what I was saying. And obviously it went on for about 45 minutes, and I was like, I was more trying to find out what his motive was, because obviously he's turned around to me and said, I need to know if he's an officer or not, or why am I necking, because if not, I'm going out investigating it myself. So it's almost like you're not asking for approval, you're going to do it anyway. So I wanted to obviously sit there in an interview with him for 45 minutes and establish what his motive was and why he was going to do that. And it basically got to the end of it, like, I had to tell him multiple times that he is a PCSO and act his pay grade for him to understand, and he still sort of didn't get it. He didn't like it that he was being told he couldn't investigate it, because he was like, no, they're corrupt. And then sort of left there. And that was kind of it. We left it there, but myself, Robbie, was sitting in that meeting afterwards, like, this is PCSOs that are talking to us like this. This shouldn't be happening, you know? Like, a PCSO, he's literally doing his training, telling us how we should be doing our job, and that he's going to be doing all sorts above his grade and go all sorts in this. And it's like, he's a risk to us at that point, what he's trying to say to us, almost. So anyway, we left it. And I went away. I come back in Thursday, and I've been made aware that on the Wednesday, he got brought into the office, and he was asked about several complaints that was made against him. I've got all the complaints in front of me, which I'm happy to go with.
I'm in a meeting. Just give me a moment. Let me just tell the GC one.
Yo, Matty coming in the roses.
Tom,
let's go. Thank you. Yeah, go on.
There is a client of mine. His name's Dave. He's not been read his rights, and he went to prison. Now, Officer Bedandi told him that he'll be clearing him and taking him away from prison and freed. Until now, he's not been freed. So, could we have an update on what that situation is?
Yeah, I believe Yorkshire's just spoken to me about a said incident. So let me just try and call Yorkshire and get him to deal with it.
Thank you. Someone will come down very soon. Perfect. No problem. Have a good one.
What's the location?
Postal 762 towards the back of PD.
Yes, if I've not.
Tango 140.
Brilliant. None of them on the radio that I want them on. Nope.
Right, is that everyone back out there now? Yeah, that were at PD.
Yeah. And Tango 142 Walsh.
Yorkshire, can you hear me?
I got eyes on, mate.
Why isn't my radio's not working? Brilliant. Ugh.
Would you like me to call Bedandy?
Yeah, please. If he's on, I don't know why I'm not even able to. Oh no, I've got Yorkshire's number. Hold on, 2 seconds.
All right, perfect.
Yorkshire, I've got HP here. Apparently, the client that you were just talking about, saying that he's not the person that's not been read their rights that you were talking to me about a minute ago. Apparently, Bedandy's authorised that he's going to be released from prison, and he hasn't been up there to prison. Can you go and sort that out, please? I'm in a meeting. Can you speak to Bedandy and sort that out? Apparently, HP just said to me that his client has been told by Bedandy that he's been released after not reading his rights from prison. Bedandy's authorised that he was going to go and get him, but no one's got there or something. Could you just find out with Bedandy, please?
Yeah, have they got proof of this, like?
Can you sort it out? I'm in a meeting. I want this meeting to sort of... I don't want it to keep moving on. Thank you.
It's alright, yeah, I'll sort it.
Look,
I'll sort it.
In a bit, I'm just having a meeting with GC1. Thank you.
And a football Brooklyn.
Sorry.
Let's go. Thank you. Appreciate that.
So in the end, I do understand where you're coming from, and it's obviously in the end not my job to keep officers or not. It's your job, and I don't want to overstep. But is there now? I'm just talking from a point of just human to human. Is there any chance you can bring him back to the force? Because he kept on telling me every time we have a meeting that he really wants to go back to police.
If I'm going to be honest, Robbie and I both said it. We had no issues when he was on duty. He was a brilliant officer. The problem we have is that, again, he was told in his interview that you've got previous experience from other forces. Are you going to struggle to be a PCSO and work your way up being in here? And from the evidence that I've been given, I mean, I've got a full list of notes here that I'm more than happy to share and explain, and I've gone over every point. Now, obviously, I'm happy to elaborate right now, and not every point, but I'll give you a summary of basically what.
Yeah, I'd like a summary.
So, essentially, he had 3 complaints. Now, some of these complaints that have been brought to me, I've identified as police errors. And not in the sense that they were the complaints were the errors. It was the fact that the officer in question, Mr. Dribble, may not have been mentioned about or may not have been made aware of the complaints as they happen. So essentially, the officers that have put the complaints in have put the complaint in on our system, but has not officially told the officer there and then. He'd been told for 2 of them, or certainly 1, and then the 3rd time he was told about all 3 of them by a higher up.
All right.
And obviously he's still done the things, but you know, I've always said to my officers, and this is where the training's going to come in for myself. I'm going to be reworking the warning system so that I have right now in front of me the complaint, who is part of the complaint and why the complaint was there, but there's no one is put in the outcome of the complaint. And that needs to happen there and then, because obviously if I brought you in and said, right, this is the complaint I've got against you, this is what you've done wrong, and this is how we need you to improve it, because at the end of the day, it's all about improving. And if I've got that there, then I can turn around. If I catch that person again, I can turn around to you and go, right, look, you were warned on this day about this same thing. The outcome was that you were going to improve this. You haven't improved it, so this is your 2nd strike. You've got no argument then, have you? Because you know you've already had an outcome. But what seems like has happened is that he's been told about a couple, but then continued having complaints about it, and then finally been brought into the office. So the overall summary of the situation is that it seems like Mr. Dribble
Mm-hmm.
has been brought up for the way his manner and conduct to people are. The first complaint was reported that he'd said, "Move out the way, you fucking cunt." Excuse my language.
Ooh, sorry.
to a civilian. That is just a someone by subway on report. That's a report of that. The second report was that he'd turn around and could order here, "Shut the F up, let's cut the shit." Which this was to people that have got knives to someone in a shop robbery.
Oh, ooh.
So
Right.
you know, this is the type of thing that we're getting,
Alright,
and obviously
okay.
I turn around to the guys and say I'll get body cam for it. But obviously this was sergeants and above that are witnessing, hearing this, and then obviously acting on it. Again, so we've got two times professionalism, and we're talking about a PCSO here, someone on training. Excuse me. And then obviously
it should be crystal clear.
Exactly. And then obviously the third complaint come in when they went to the prison. Basically, they were scouting out this person who kept trying to escape. He was told by a sergeant above who was dealing with the situation, you need to take certain items of your vest off to be not as visible, and you need to keep out the way. Apparently, he wasn't. He was refusing to do that, and refusing orders from obviously his higher up and doing what he wants to do. He was then interacting with the person down below, and he said, "Fuck it, he wants to talk to me, so I'm going down." So the overall summary of that claim that I'd got is that he was trying to do things his way and refusing commands from higher ups when engaging in the conversation, etc., and obviously refusing to listen to higher ups. Now, them sort of three summaries kind of tie in with each other and the same sort of reports. Now, as I said to my officers, has he been made aware of each individual claim as they happen so he can try and prevent that? And the answer I got was he got one or two. And then finally, the second time it was mentioned was about all three of the situations. So essentially, the third one was dealt with on scene because the sergeant that was dealing with it turned around and said, "Look, you can't be refusing to do what I'm telling you." And eventually, he then listened to him, and they stood down from the situation. So obviously, that was more of a slap on the wrist rather than a complaint. But even so, it's still a PCSO acting in this manner. Who is obviously still under training and stuff like that. So when we're talking about people wanting to come back to the force, this is the situations that people need to brush up on before we can even entertain that, because they may have said that our police force is wrong, or they may hated how they've been treated. That's fair enough, but we've still got to address this situation here. And if he's being treated that way, is it because of him? Or is it because of my officers? That's we've got to find the common denominator somewhere.
Yeah.
And having all of these complaints, 3 complaints within 2 days of being on the force, the question that he was originally given, "Can you handle yourself as PCSO from the experience?" doesn't sound that way, does it?
No, I would. Yeah.
So
I got you.
Essentially, what happened was the final straw on the Wednesday was that he was brought in. So he was off duty. He was up in his house. He didn't have a call sign. So what happened was 2 officers, I believe it was Yorkshire and Junior Robinson, approached the no call sign to find out who it was. It turns out to be him. They then asked if they could have him down into the station. To obviously have a chat with him. So they brought him into the station to have a chat about obviously the no call sign. They also had a chat about what Junior had been made aware by another officer that he'd seen this Mr. Dribble a few times in alleyways talking to people. As a PCSO, again, nothing wrong if you're off duty talking to people, but alleyways, etc. So all they wanted to do was just question why he was in alleyways and stuff like that, and find out more information. Obviously, one thing led to another. They then got into the complaints that had happened. GC2 then walked into the room to find out all these complaints. Mr. Dribble then went on about he was doing some investigation work on corrupt officers. Which is why he was, doing whatever he was doing.
Even after he's been told
stop, which happened on the Tuesday. So Robbie, Yorkshire, the rest of them then turned around and said, right, okay, well, who's corrupt then? We need to find out. If you're doing investigation work, which you're not allowed to and been told not to, who's corrupt? He wouldn't tell them who was investigating or who was corrupt. So obviously they went out of the room and had a chat and said, look, he's been told multiple times you can't be investigating. He's also had all these complaints, and he's obviously clearly not listening. And this is a PCSO in training 3 days in. So we're going to have to terminate his contract. And so they did that there and then on the spot. And from my point of view, I feel that they've got a substantial amount of evidence to obviously back their claim. The way that he was dismissed, you know, standing in an inspector's room is not the right way of doing it. Probably I would have liked them maybe to have obviously said, right, we're suspending you until we have a conversation when GC1's in the city. And essentially we're going to go from there. We would have probably come to the same agreement, whether it was there or then, but obviously the professionalism of the whole situation would have looked obviously 10 times better, because he'd been brought in, almost his ass was handed to him in a Reg 15 meeting, and then he would have had no complaints, etc. But obviously to be fired on the spot there and then, they had their reasons. Would they have done it correctly? Maybe not, but does that still come away from the fact that what he's done?
I understand, yeah.
So that's why I've gone into such detail to find all this information out, because, you know, when people come to me and say people are corrupt or people have been dealt with unfairly or whatever like that, I want to know the facts and the figures, and that's why I go into such detail, to make sure that people are doing their job properly.
Well, let's cut this meeting with, let's end this subject real quick, since I don't want to waste much of I don't want to take too much of your time, to be honest.
Yo, Brooklyn's coming in with the treasure boxes. Let's go. Thank you. And the Panthers and the weights. Let's go. Thank you. Appreciate that.
One thing is your Officer Junior.
I bet I can't wait to get us it. No. Yep.
Now, if you open your MDT.
Yes.
And go to, no, it's all right. And you go to your complaints section. Now, you don't need to tell me anything, but could you, is the number higher than 5?
Complaint section for Junior Robinson?
Yes.
Standby caller, let me just type.
That's all right.
Complaints, let me go complaints. Officer complaints. Junior Robinson. Believe it or not, in my complaint section on my system, I'm just going to rerun it one more time, but it doesn't show anything for Mr. Robinson.
Oh, all right. Just let me know if it gives you the same thing again.
Robinson, I've got nothing for Robinson. In both of my MDTs, I've got nothing on.
Just so we can be on the same page, it's the person that you've just talked to, dark skin, dark hair. I believe
yeah, that's correct.
Be dreadlocks.
Yeah, Mr. Junior Robinson. What you got all your money? Thank you. On the wheels. I've got you hydrate. I'm going into my full system now. So highlighting the channel that has the complaints. I'm typing in his name. Nothing is coming back in my records.
And okay, then that's an issue from your officers then, because I've submitted a formal complaint 2 days ago based on his very bad behavior and very shit attitude.
Okay.
And he's been doing that, not just to me, but to other lawyers. And the way he just goes about and just deals with certain stuff is very unprofessional from my end.
Okay, and who did you address that to?
Mr. or Officer Bedandi and someone else was in the room, but mainly him because he was the higher up.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll obviously address that with him then. Let me once
Yes,
again.
please.
Let me just check.
Sorry, you don't need to address it now. I don't want to use up a lot of your time, but I'm just letting you or keeping you aware of certain scenarios and situations that are going on.
No, of course. There's obviously many channels that I have that certain things can be brought to my attention. So obviously, it may have been made aware in a higher channel than certain officers can see. But obviously, like I say, because obviously I've not been made aware of that, and maybe Badandi's dealt with it, then that may be why. But ultimately, obviously, I will just chase it up to make sure.
Yeah, but I would assume the complaint would stick to his history, so you can go back one day.
Correct. It may just be that the area that I'm checking for that certain incident is not in the officer complaints. It may be in a higher channel.
Right.
But obviously, as you say, you're going to allow me some time to have a look at it. So
Yeah.
I will chase that with Badandi when I get time.
No problem. And the last thing I need to ask you is in revolving Officer Yorkshire.
Okay.
Yeah,
Barnsley,
so
I do
a
actually.
couple of
I
days
do.
ago,
I do. Give me
something happened with the.
half an hour.
So do you know Ted and Tim, right?
Yep.
So they've been doing things in the city, and to my surprise, they're being let go and being very free of doing whatever the hell they want.
Yo, Bogan's coming in with a
example
hero. Wow.
is yesterday.
Thank you.
I
Appreciate that.
met.
Anti-hero.
I was going to a
Ghostface is
scene.
coming in with
I've
8
seen
GGs.
I've seen
Guys,
officers.
thank you so much.
I've
Appreciate
seen
you coming in
officers,
there.
and there was a big
Very kind of
scene.
you.
So I jumped out my car so I can check what's going on. So I saw both of them there.
Who's
I
loud,
then
is he?
talked
Okay,
to
I'll turn him
them.
down a little bit. I was just scared that you couldn't hear him properly.
They didn't really want to talk back, and I was like, all right then, have a good day.
I'll have a proper
continue
community
on
week.
Doing whatever I wanted to do, which is,
And we'll play Call of Duty all night and stuff.
Next thing you know, Mr. Tim, or Tiny Tim, I would say.
Because Warzone's out soon, so we're going to
I know
smash
it's a child and he hit me twice, but he's still a citizen in my eyes.
Yeah.
So he hit me twice, followed by, I would assume, Ted bringing a bag and putting it over my head, carried me to a police officer's car and
4
put me
days,
in.
let's go.
10 minutes later, officers arrived near me, and they told me, why are you in the car? Are you being arrested? What's going on? Why are you here? So I told them I've been kidnapped by those two individuals. And I know, without you even opening up any documents, officer, I know that this scenario has not been filed or anything has been done with it. Now, Officer Yorkshire was talking to them on the sidewalk a bit far away. So I saw, once the officers took me out of the car and removed that bag, I went to talk to
He's not city staff,
Ted and Tim because
he's just a good
I want
lawyer
to understand
and
why
RPO.
they did such things. And then next thing you know, they threw accusations left, right, and center saying, why do you have a body cam? And why are you recording any minors?
Appreciate you.
It's a public camera for public citizens. You can record wherever you want as long as you're in public area. Next thing you know, things happened and it was resolved. I deleted my body cam footage, then let Officer Yorkshire check my camera. And in the end, Ted goes on top of my car, hits my windshield, hits the top of the car, and Officer Yorkshire just turns a blind eye.
Okay, so I would like you, if possible, to do me a favor. And essentially, I've been trying to come up with ideas. We've had Ted and Tim in the office many times. Now, obviously, whether you're aware or you're not aware, Yorkshire is Tim's granddad, which obviously now then means that Ted's the same sort of thing. Obviously, we've tried to come up many a times with how to deal with underage, obviously minors or whatever you want to call them. Essentially, the best thing that we come up with at the time was that obviously, anytime they come in with a statement to us, then we obviously get a legal guardian with them to give the statement. If they are being sent down for their crimes, then we essentially give them community service for the same time as a prison, because obviously sending a minor to prison doesn't sit too well. For purposes of, as I'm sure you're maybe aware, but we need correct, I would like, is the best word, correct guidance from the law on the way to approach it. Now obviously, you would normally send these type of people to a children's prison or whatever you want to call it. But I've had it a few times where, for instance, we had it the other day in an interview with Frank, as you were there, when he turns around and said, well, how has a 5-year-old got a driving license? Now, a driving license, he's got one because the mayor's given it to him. At the end of the day, do we treat this 5-year-old and teddy bear as a citizen of the city, just like we treat everyone else, which means they get the same treatment as everyone else? Or for the purposes of the the jam roly-poly or whatever circumstances, whatever you want to say, do we do it in our unique style that everyone is happy with? And obviously the reason we're here is suited. So I'd like to better that. Obviously we had Tim and Ted in the room at the time, and we went over that, and then they said, look, I mean, we do the time, we do the crime type thing, but I would like it, as you know, I try to do everything as professional and as by the law as realistic as possible. So if you come up with something that the law will be happy with, then obviously we can approach them with that and say, look, because obviously I have already approached them with community service. All my officers should know that community service it is, but there are times where they have been reports that they try to take people hostage, run around, and then all of a sudden they're the ones claiming they're being taken hostage, stuff like that. And we've had many times when they're reporting that they're being taken hostage, like Frank, for instance, got done the other day. He did admit that he kidnapped him, so we have to go with that. But we and I've been there myself. I've been in situations where they've used their toys and hit me a few times, etc. They're kids at the end of the day, but
it's not very.
We've still got to come up with this situation, haven't we, for the benefit of everyone? And I don't want, from the police point of view, the citizens of this city turn around and saying, this is a load of bollocks, they get a better treatment than we do, or special treatment goes out to certain people. I've cut that in the PD. We don't have special treatment. That's why we've got a rule book. Everyone goes in the police as a PCSO, they work their way up as PCSO, PC, etc. And you go up. Everyone knows the time frames, and obviously we're cutting that out of the police, so we want to have that level playing ground in the city as well. But I'm not going to prepare to set up, for me personally, I'm not going to send a minor to prison, because I know theoretically that's not right. But what's the next best thing?
Well, I'll think about it and maybe draw up something, obviously, from my end, and
yes, I will be, Maxi. I will be.
Have a meeting with
them.
Yo,
look at you coming in, booking. Wow.
In the end,
you're flexing them. Wow, flexing them gifts. Thank you, my man. Appreciate you.
Ted, no, not them.
Coming in. Welcome. Football, mini speed, TikTok, GG.
I respect him. He's a good officer.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
But to me, every time I get called and it's revolving them, I don't want to be associated anymore.
No, that's fair enough.
Because to me, I can be asked, and I'm sorry to say it as bluntly as possible, I'm wasting my time, and it's not fun dealing with both of them anymore. Because
thank you, appreciate it.
In my eyes, they're being treated very differently towards citizens, though they are citizens by law. They are 2 complete citizens with 2 driver's licenses, perfect IDs, and everything. Now, I understand the whole age gap thing. But at the same time, if you're going to go murder someone, I'm sorry, I'm not going to go pamper you and give you cookies and cream and everything. If you've done the murder, you should. I understand in prison, we can maybe allocate a certain area in prison for children and only children. Maybe we can put around 2 to 3 cells, and that's about it. But I'll think about it and then come back to you later on someday. But in my opinion, I'm just letting you know that not just me, but most of my lawyers are very fed up with both of them
because
it's not
totally
fun
understandable.
anymore.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm here for the public. I'm here to serve the public as a public servant. I obviously act on what the mayor tells me to do. If the mayor puts someone in the city, then I obviously go with that. And if the public decide that everyone is treated equally in the city, then so be it. They get treated equally, and obviously I then backtrack on what I say about sending a minor to prison. Then he would then be classed as he's not a minor. That's fair enough. If that's the route that people decide that they go down, then fine. But until something is put into place, then that's how we treat everyone equally. But in terms of my personal thoughts, until something's put in place, a minor is a minor.
I understand. Maybe one day we'll sort this issue out.
Yeah, but, there's lots of issues that need sorting. It's just picking the right ones at the right time and trying to come up with the right solution for it. But we're getting there with your help, with my help, with GC2, with the rest of the force. If we all bat on the same page, then we'll get there.
Perfect. I appreciate your time, officer.
No worries.
Very
Fantastic.
much.
Great hearing you. And like I say, we'll do what we can. I will never not entertain people back to police forces unless they've done what they've done, like a big Kev, and said what they've done. But people need to change before they do so. And as I'm sure you've agreed with me tonight, the conduct that's happened, you're not coming on the police force until that's changed.
Yes, I understand. Maybe later on down the line.
Absolutely, I'm more than happy to entertain or whatever, but until you show us the respect that we try and show, or you try to listen to what we have to say and do as we say, then, you've got to respect that.
We're not going to open our books towards people like that. Yeah, I understand.
Absolutely. Cool, sounds good.
No, thank you so much.
Might actually get some fresh air.
We've been here for long.
Have you got like a Harry Potter invisible cloak or something, just so I can walk out the PD with you? give me a walking stick maybe. Or something, just so I can act like I'm going somewhere. He's away on holiday.
If you give me a gun, I can,
Whoa, fucking hell, lawyers! Wow, come on now. I half expect, you're the type of character that I would assume that like stick has got some sort of James Bond bullet in it that you can fire at any point.
Maybe sooner or later.
you strike me that vibe.
Let me unlock it for you.
Thank you. There we go. Yeah.
There we are.
Awkward.
Thank you.
Right.
Are you wanting to talk to me?
Yeah, I did.
Fuck, where's that cloak? Quick, come on, quick.
Oh.
Shh, I'm not here. Nothing to see. No, I'll be there in a sec.
See you, boys in purple.
Take care. See you in a bit.
He's in purple.
Right, off you go.
Sorry, Tom.
Come on.
Has he had his meeting dribble?
Has he what? Sorry.
Has he had his meeting about trying to get his appeal job back?
Peter Dribble, because he's now currently in custody.
He's downstairs. He's just assaulted officers in custody, so that's probably not
really?
Yeah, he's being very difficult with us. We've got about 6 gang members down there. It was a state 0. Started trying to stab everyone.
Yellow.
These officers here were just about to tell me that Mr. Dribble is currently arrested in the police station for assaulting police officers in custody. Just wanted to update you on that. Anyway, have a good one.
Yeah, probably not going to go in his favour, I imagine.
Yeah, he's requesting a lawyer.
I've just had a meeting about that. He's requesting a lawyer, is he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, apparently so, yeah.
Yeah, right, if you can call HP back.
Alright, I'll call him back then.
Yeah, I'd rather deal with HP than Frank, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Frank's not happy with us at the moment, I think it's safe to say.
Also, in regards to that thing with holding dirty money, he claimed it came from a friend of his.
Sorry, I forgot to hang up. I didn't mean to hang up. Sorry. It's could you come to the station and represent him because he wants to be represented?
Yeah, I'm on.
Thank you. Cheers. Sorry, you were saying.
Yeah. So, in regards to that interview I did earlier, I asked him where the money came from. Hello? He gave the name of Danny Smith. We looked up Danny Smith. He has priors involved in holding of dirty money, P-wits and such. So I said, right, well, until unfortunately, because we can't verify that money is actually clean at this point in time, it's going to be seized pending the investigation.
Yep.
Come down, I'll grab you.
Jesus Christ, Frank. Might as well make you
Yeah,
an
let's
office.
go in the office, mate.
Yeah, if you like to help me find me one, yeah, more than welcome to, mate. You saved me a fucking time.
Oh,
sorry. Yeah, do you want me to get it?
Yeah. We're going out in the streets in a second. I'm going for a quick short time and then seeing Barnsley.
So right now, he's been... So the holding day money charge has been removed.
Still coming in.
We've kept the money because we can't guarantee that it isn't dirty money, and the person who gave him that money has priors for holding dirty money, including alongside Pewitz and T-Wok themselves.
Yep.
So until his friend can produce some form of proof that money is in fact legal, it's not going back to him.
Perfect.
It will be seized for the purpose of the investigation.
Yep.
If the investigation closes out it's not, then it's going to be seized under the Proceeds of Crime Act of 2002.
Perfect.
Frank was not happy, said he's basically going to fucking sue us and all that shit.
Go for it.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, sure, go ahead. I'm going to speak to your girl client. Yeah,
I've literally just said to him down the stations that if he can prove it's his, he can have it back.
Yeah.
And he's agreed with that. So
yeah, he's like, but how can you prove it's dirty money? How can you prove it's dirty money? It's like, well, he's got priors, and it's like, no, that's not proof.
It's not. I agree, but where's his proof that he's got that legally? If he's holding that amount of money on him, give us reasons where he's got that from. Now, I might be completely wrong to the law, but that's my understanding. And if a lawyer wants to come to me and say, here is section fucking 7425 of the You're a Dickhead Act 1942, you're not allowed to do that, then fine. But until someone does, my understanding is that if you can't prove that your money is legal when you're doing illegal activities, especially around stealing things, then no, you're not getting your money back.
Yeah, no.
Perfect.
Oh yeah, it's
cool.
It's been withheld. It's in the evidence locker with the corresponding incident number.
Wicked. Did you like that act?
Really.
Anyone like that act?
Crypto sticks.
Someone clip that bit, please. That's going on TikTok.
What are they used for?
Crypto USBs.
Yes. I have them on me right now. I still need to put them in evidence.
So I've arrested a few people. I know past Geordie I've arrested. They've been doing, at the time, a money truck, I think it was. And what else was there?
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go on, Junior.
C1, you've got Frank outside waiting for you. Just chat to you about some legal stuff, alright?
Okay.
No worries.
Yeah. When did Frank become a lawyer?
A week, maybe? I don't know.
Right. Well, was that when he was kidnapping Ted, or before, or?
No, that he had just been enrolled as a lawyer before that.
Right. Okay. As a lawyer before that incident.
Yeah. He then got arrested, sent to prison, and we said to HP, look, this is what you've got in your lawyers after admitting it. And he went, I'll deal with it. And
well, he's still a lawyer. HP.
No, he is. Yeah, but you know, at the end of the day, we can't tell them who you got to sack and who you got to re-employ. At the end of the day, that's down to them. But you know, if he comes in, you just got to, you know, act like he's a lawyer at the end of the day.
Right, fair enough.
I know he's not looking like a lawyer and he's just walking around like he's a someone off the streets, but you know,
if it happens again,
that's what he wants to do.
If it happens again, may I propose that we go to a judge to get it court ordered that his license?
Listen, at the end of the day, you need to document every case that you have with him then, and essentially, after many cases, like we have with police, if they're not good enough at their job or they're not that, then we obviously go to certain people and say, look, this is who we're trying to deal with, and then it gets dealt with that way. But ultimately, just because someone's not done something first time, you've just got to go with what you can.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's more or less for future reference.
Then you're in that position to be able to do them type of things, so, and you'll be dealing with them a lot more, so it'd be good to just document it, speak to the others, and take it what you need.
Yeah, no, Nice. Well, I'm glad I acted good in that interview then.
Good man. Good to hear.
Yeah. Right.
Cool. Let me deal with Frank. Send him in.
Yep.
Brooklyn's coming still. He's going. Now with a bottle. Legend. Thank you.
Evening.
Evening. How we doing?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm all good. Right.
Good stuff.
Right. So we know 20 and less is CompServe.
It can be CompServe. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Now, you've got dribble downstairs, it's on 23, right?
Yep.
Here's the thing that I'm confused, concerned, whatever way you want to kind of word it, right?
Yeah.
Junior's saying he's not due legal representation. In my opinion, every arrest should be offered legal aid, regardless of it.
So, as I said in our interview the other day from our email transcript or whatever you want to call it, obviously, I agreed with people when they turned around and said, look, if I want a lawyer, I should be able to get a lawyer because at the end of the day, fine. And I said, if the incident warrants a lawyer, then you can have a lawyer, no problem. Now, what the mayor turned around to us and said, and this was when the first attempt of lawyers coming into the city was, and it was look, it's I would say he turned around and said, anything under 45, they don't need a lawyer because of the fact that people are just going to be requesting it all day long and taking the piss. And then obviously we just had that the transcript then, and they turned around and said, okay, anything less than 35 is a similar procedure. Now I am still under the impression myself, everyone's different, but that's the guidelines that have been put in. If you were to have me as an officer, I would turn around and say, look, if the evidence is a bit sticky, then I'll entertain a lawyer, no problem. If it's clear as day that you've battered the fuck out of me, let's just say, or you've literally murdered my officer standing next to me, and you're going down for 30 months or whatever under that 35, it's clear as day that you're just wasting a lawyer's time. So you're going down because of the fact that there is no way of getting out of it, if that makes sense. And that's obviously what the mayor's then turned around and said about wasting time. But
can you remember the first time that the lawyers kind of flew into the city? There was under 30, then it was under 45. That's where the confusion kicked off.
Yes, and a lot of people wanted lawyers just so they didn't have to sit in the prison, wasn't it? That's why they kept going, I'm going to get a lawyer in, because I know if I sit here for whatever and try and plead my case, then I'm going to get that amount of time. Yeah, or walk or whatever like that.
So now, if I remember right, the emails we got was 20 and under could be CompServe due to discretion. Anything above that, the lawyer can be requested.
Stand by. It's meeting notes. So I'm going to read this word for word from the transcript so we know.
Bear in mind, I've got the unedited version, right? But you've edited something on that email.
I've got I copied and pasted directly from the what's it, Archibald.
Right, so I'm going to read something out, right? The for CompServe, you added on, it's 3 times the tasks that's set, and your officers have been saying that to me.
I turned around and said to the officers in the meeting,
3 times the task limit.
Where have you got that? The only reason I say that.
That's from your officers, and I can quote this.
Let me go up to my meeting minutes so we've got it clear as day. Because obviously, what I turned around and said to my officers in the meeting, and obviously HP was there to back up, was that CompServe. No, of course. Now I said in the meeting that CompServe for every task takes 20 seconds.
Yeah,
so you can work out.
It's 3 times. CompServe is the sentence plus 3 times what every task is.
Not according to the notes here. The notes here state ComServe is 20 or less. ComServe is an option with base fine or 5 times fine amount and maybe 10 times. ComServe is calculated by task. Each task takes around 20 seconds. So keep that in mind when you're calculating ComServe tasks.
Right, so they're adding
compared
on
to the time.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm trying to get this right. For the city, right? What's happening is with your officers. So see you.
You might be talking about 3 times. Okay, so here, bail. People placed on bail will be received 3 times.
I'm not talking about the bail.
Brooklyn's still coming in with a controller.
That sorted out with them, and then they understood
Legend, thank you.
The comp service where everybody's getting mixed up with, right? Say you arrest me, right, and I'm getting sent down for 20, right?
Yep.
So your officers would be quite within the rights to go, right? 20 plus 3 times that is 60.
Yep.
Right? Now, this is where us as lawyers, we're getting slightly confused because that isn't what was agreed. You with me? Right?
Yeah.
That isn't what, from our side, wasn't agreed. It's as if you've implemented this. Does that make sense what I'm saying? And that's where the total confusion is kicking in because people are going, like, so why am I doing more comp serve than what I'm due?
Again, all I as
you
I
see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so the in our lawyer our legal emails, I copied that exact paragraph into there. So all I ask you then to do is, if the officers there's conflict in, just quote word for word what that email says, because they've got that themselves. And if it's anything less, just come to me and say they're not listening or whatever.
I'm being honest with you, right? I'm not butting heads here. I'm not butting heads with you. I'm not, right. But what I'm saying is, though, the amount of officers that I've said he's on comp serve. Well, he's doing 120 comp serve. I said, how? He's under 20. Well, it's 3 times what his sentence is. And they're going, I said, so who told you that? GC1.
Seconds.
I've been waiting to get when you flew in to speak to you about this, because see the confusion about this comp serve. This is a ball ache, mate. It's as if that you've implemented something but not passed it down to us. This is what I've asked everybody. I've asked every one of them. They all saying it came for you. I will literally send you what I've got, because it's the edited version of that transcript on the emails that I've got, right? That came from Archibald, right?
Yeah.
And it's been edited, and it's been edited by you. This is what I'm trying to say.
Right, so bear me 2 seconds, hold on. So do you know what 20 minutes or 20 months, sorry, is in ComServe times 3? Do you know what that equates
60.
to?
Well, it'll be 60.
They're doing 60 tasks.
Right. But what I'm saying is, though, right, and this is why I'm asking you, so why are you timesing it by 3 for tasks? If it's 20 comp serve, it's 20. This is why they prefer just to go straight to prison.
Why is it not working here? What am I doing wrong here?
There is people in this city that would prefer just
Chat,
going straight to prison.
I'm trying to do 20 seconds times 60. I'm pretty sure.
Hold on.
But
Reese, I'm in PD speaking to GC1 now.
So I think that what they're getting at is if you times 20 by 3, you're getting the same time.
Yeah. So then it's not comp serve, Tom.
What do you mean it's not ComServe? So what we're trying to say is, obviously, if you're going to jail for 20 minutes, but we turn around and say, right, okay, you're going ComServe instead. Are they looking to get a reduced time then? No. Because obviously, if we send them away for times 3, that's the exact same time they're going to spend ComServe as it is in jail.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is, right, regarding the ComServe, right? See if it's ComServe is 20 and under, right?
Yeah.
Right. Is that agreed?
That's what it says. Yes, 20 or less. Yeah.
So if they're getting comp self, they shouldn't be getting it ×3. This is what I'm trying to say to you. So if it's 20 and under, they get given 20 and under.
No. But what you're not getting at is if you give, one task is 20 seconds. So if you give them 20 tasks.
You do 20 tasks. Yeah, your comp self, you do 20 tasks. I've done comp self.
Yeah, but that's gonna be like 7 minutes, or if not less, like 5 minutes. It's gonna be.
Yes.
If you do 20 seconds times 20 and work that one out.
But that's what I'm saying, right?
So they're only going to do like 5 minutes, whereas if we just send them to prison, they're going to get the 20 minutes. So
you're going to have more people going to prison than less people going to comp self.
No, they're spending the same time, Frank, in ComServe as they are in prison. If you send them away,
do you see what I'm saying? That's you just said it. They would be spending the same amount of time in prison. They could go to prison, right?
Yeah.
And be out in 10 minutes by breaking out. You know that, and I know that. My clients do it, you know.
But that's a city error then, isn't it? Because for someone to break out of prison in 10 minutes, then fuck me, then the system's faulted, isn't it? That because obviously what happens is if someone breaks out of prison, I've made it my own rule. I don't care if someone wants to say it, but if someone tries to break out of prison 3 times in an hour, I'm sending them away for 300 tasks, and that's an hour and a half sitting there doing ComServe. 3 times in an hour, are we taking a piss? Like, you know, that type of thing. So that's why I'm like...
So that's why we need to get the ComServe...
Wait, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Right? Because
he's not, no.
So I'm doing ComServe. I'm being told it's 20. I'm doing 60. I'd be better off doing 60 in prison.
The thing is...
It's a tricky one, mate. It's a tricky one.
If you do 20 minutes in prison... So if you're sentenced for 20 minutes in prison, but we give you ComServe, 20 times 3 is 1,200 seconds. That equates to 20 minutes. So you're doing 20 minutes of ComServe. You're not doing any more than 20 minutes of ComServe because it's 20 or under. It's 20 minutes or 20 months we're talking about or under. Yeah. So we're giving them the same. So what I could potentially suggest is that if someone's going down for 20 months, then we can give them 15 minutes of ComServe. And the reason being is because if you're a good boy in prison and you do all your tasks, you may get out 5 minutes early. So that's equated the same thing. So if you're doing ComServe, you can do 15 minutes of ComServe for 20 months.
Right, but here's the thing I'm going to say, right? I get sent to prison for 80, right?
Yeah.
How long do you think it takes me to get out from 80 months?
If you're a good boy and do your tasks, 80 months, probably 60, would say on
60,
65, maybe.
I could tell you, right, but I guarantee if I told you, you'd alter everything, right? So I will email you this, right, because you will be shocked. And
I'm probably about to. You're probably about to tell me that you'll get out in 10 minutes because you'll break out of prison or whatever.
No, because I'll tell you why. I done it while I had an audience.
Right, but truthfully, I've brought this up to the mayor that the prison guards up there are shit, and that we are finding people trying to break out of prison on their last attempt within 10 minutes or so, or whatever. I've even had my officers try it to make sure, and they have got they could be whatever. But the mayor has told me that they've had extra training, and that they should not be getting out in under 40 or whatever, because prison is a joke at the moment. No point in saying it. If that's not the case, then obviously the mayor's not trained them well enough or whatever. But truthfully, I don't care if once I've sent someone to prison, that's we've got what we wanted, the prison sentence. At the end of the day, that's what it is. But on the other hand, if people will start to adapt themselves, they'll be like, fuck it, I'm going to get myself arrested. I don't care whether I murder 25 people, because I'm going to get sent away for 200 months, let's say, but I'll be out in 10 minutes anyway, so I'm going to do it again in another 10 minutes. That's not how the city should be running, is it?
But they're doing it.
Yeah, they are. I 100% agree, and that's why I brought it up to the mayor and said, listen, your prison guards are shit. breaking out in 10 minutes, and he went, no, I can guarantee you I've tried it, it's 40 minutes minimum, because what's the point? If you're getting sent down for half an hour, you might as well go be a good boy. But if it's an hour or you're murdering loads of people, then 40 minutes is whatever.
Again,
and
we're kind of getting off subject, but
no, of course, but it's
the comp serve that's kind of getting to
the com serve 20 times 3 is 20 minutes doing community service. That's where the officers obviously come up with that maths, and that's obviously correct maths. No one is being done wrongly. If you're being sentenced for 20 months in prison, it's 20 minutes in comserve.
Tom, honestly, the city's feeling like, what's the point in comserve? This is it. The generally just.
You know why, Frank, don't you? Because they have to do every task. It is ball ache going to community service. Prison is more fun because you could be able to interact with other people. If you sit there, community service, if you don't do that task will still sit there until you finish your task. There is no timer, 20 minutes. The quicker you do your task, the quicker you're out of community service. So that's
what I'm trying to say to you, right? So see if it's 20 minutes, right, and under, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's cap it at 20 and not do ×3. It's all about kind of having this middle ground where if we're happy, the city's happy. This is what we're after. Me from a legal point of view, and you for the arresting side. You with me?
Okay, I'll tell you what. Why don't we then community service? If you're 20 months or under, if you're going down for 20 months, you've got 10 minutes of community service.
Yeah.
Which I'll need to do the maths and work out how many tasks that is so I can let the officers know. But 10 minutes, because let's say, for instance, you're doing stuff, you get sent for community service. Some people in prison may just sit there for a couple of minutes, etc., go to the toilet or whatever. They, pee their pants or whatever they want to do. Community service, the task's still waiting for you. So if they go do that, 3 minutes that they're sitting there, it's 3 minutes of them not doing the task, so it's still sitting there for the next 3 minutes. So I'm happy if other, if everyone agrees, and I'm more than happy to bring that for 10 minutes. Then we can work that out. We're not here to try and piss people off or to do it. We're all here to have fun at the end of the day.
But again, the reason I've come in here because you're getting basically thrown. Wait, be honest.
Daniel's back. How are we? 65 TikToks, 65 more TikToks, and 65 footballs. How are we? Diversity RP, welcome in. Hope you're well.
That generally wasn't.
Comserve, I'll tell you in a second.
PD and the legal firm. That's what's kind of threw us off because I'm simply going, nuts. Where's I getting ×3 from?
Mm-hmm. That's just that's officers just being very mathematically correct. ×3 is what it would be, because obviously if you do 20 ×3 and you get your
but the thing
you get your hour,
but the thing
your minute, sorry,
the thing that I'm saying, the reason I'm asking this is though, right, because you had a meeting on Monday, right, and it was all agreed, right, and then I come in for a case on Tuesday, and then I'm being told, it's ×3. Who said that? GC1 went, Monday. That's not what was agreed,
Yeah, as agreed, as I said, I said reminder that 20 seconds is for one task, so work that one out, and they've obviously worked it out. Rather than me working it out as ×3, they've obviously gone, okay, well that is ×3 obviously, because 20 seconds ×3 is a minute.
But this is what I'm saying.
Or a month,
to a point where you've told your officers, but you've not passed the information on to us.
I have. I've sent you the screenshot. Go look in the legal thing. And the whole conversation I told my officers is in the legal, so you've all got a copy of it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
And I copied you all in it.
Yeah, but the screenshot we've got, that's what I'm trying to say, is the unedited version. I've had to ask one of your officers to send me the edited version. I've got it. And I'll send it to you, to what I mean. I'm not here complaining.
No, of course. I've got here where it says the one that I sent you is service calculated by task. Each task takes around 20 seconds, so keep that in mind when calculating. It's in your legal. Have a look. You're in there.
Put it on, mate, because I've been looking every day and we're kind of sitting scratching our head.
You're in there as a senior associate. It's in the general MRP legal email system. It's in there, and it was posted on the 8th of the 11th.
Give me 2 minutes.
And 3 people have a thumbs up. HP, Mr. Douglas, the judge, and GC2. Hey, Diversity, how you doing? Good to see you. Welcome in. Community service is basically you get sent away for ComServe, and how many tasks I tell you to do is how many tasks you have to do. And what it is, you go around, you sweep the streets, you may pick up some rubbish, and it's all in a certain area of the map. And that is exactly what it is.
That's what's confusing, you know, because when you hear ×3, so I'm not disputing it.
Yeah, no. Obviously, it's just me not being mathematically correct, and it's me saying 20 seconds is roughly a task. So work that out for when you're doing ComServe. So the mathematical geniuses in here have gone 3 times 20 is 60. Right. That's a minute.
I'll simply say that straight. Right. Send me an email, right, and I can tell you how long it takes you to do a task in prison.
Yeah, that's fine. But like I say, Frank, I'm more than happy to bring that to 10 minutes if required, and people are happy with it.
Yeah.
Then at the end of the day, ComServe will take you more than 10 minutes regardless, because you're going to be running around the map and everything like that. So,
to be honest, I think it's just to keep everybody kind of, because not everybody wants to go to prison. Some people would.
No, of course, I appreciate that, but that doesn't take away the fact that we need to address the prison situation.
Yeah. And to be honest, you'll probably see me doing more cases, and you'll probably see me doing more cases than. You know.
But no worries. I'll 100%.
Yeah, clear it up.
I want everyone to be happy at the end of the day, but the same token is I'm not going to be prepared to be people coming in and 10 minutes. Fuck me. If you can get out of prison in 10 minutes, then something's wrong in the system.
You know, as I say, send me an email and I'll tell you how long you can get out.
I'm sure it's half that, if not even more. So I'm not going to be shocked. I know it.
Well, you will be shocked, mate.
Cool. Right, have a great day.
I'm trying to.
I've not even stepped foot out of here, and I've been in the in this room 2 hours 40. So yeah.
How do you think I feel? I've never been away for a fucking.
Have a good one.
I don't even work here. Take care.
Right. Skinton, how you doing? Good to see you. It's a ball ache. ComServe is absolutely. It is a ball ache, and that's why if he's got a good point in terms of 20 minutes, times 3 is actually 20 times 3 is where they're getting out these the fact that you're meant to do 60 tasks to get 20 minutes worth. But yeah, so that is GC duties I've had to do all night. I'm going to have a little while on the street. I'm up at 5 in the morning, so you will not see me for long, and I can promise you that. But we're going to have a drink. Maxi, thank you. Sinners, how are we doing? Good to see you. Welcome in. We can't see Dribbles in the cells because he's obviously dealt with that already, or he's being dealt with by others. And truthfully, I don't want to see another person in the cells right now. I want to go and just catch a criminal. I even promise you I'd love just to see a speeding vehicle right now because
Please.
Oh, my radio's still not working, is it?
What's the status? Are we going to is Trotter in?
Yeah, pursue. They've pulled over again.
Okay, I'm gonna have to quickly fly in and fly out because my radio isn't even working.
Can we
get
have
back to PD quickly?
one officer with
I forgot all about that.
Someone can smash the window and drag out.
Sorry, we can get there in time.
Let me just turn my engine off. Get out of my car.
Postcode 830.
Right, let me just fly back in because every time I watch you, mate, this is GC. Unfortunately, this is what I have. You will see me all the time trying to hide. And I remember in V2, I was laying flat out in that, where you get the cars in and out. It used to have that little island in the middle for the security hut. I laid in there for like 5 minutes one time. Because there was people all around the police looking for me to have a chat, and I was like, I'm not moving anywhere, I'm getting out of here. And then all of a sudden I was like Detector Gadget trying to get out of the place, because like when you get going, if you've not been in for a couple of days, you just get absolutely bombarded with shit. And that's why, not shit because nothing's shit, obviously people will have complaints and everything like that, but in your head it's like, and that's why sometimes, and especially because Robbie's not in either, I've obviously taken it all, and that's where you start crying out for more silver command, Badandi, more Badandis and stuff like that. And we're always trying to look for that. It's just trying to give that edge, finding that next officer that's capable of doing that role. We've had officers come in, we've had commanders show potential, and then either leave, resign, sacked, whatever, you name it. And then we're back to square one. So, and yeah, I want to find my whole ultimate goal would be to have my commanders just running their unit perfect. The sergeants knowing their job, they run the force. Because at the end of the day, in real life, sergeants are running all the situations. You will be lucky if you see an inspector out there. And then obviously, if you see an inspector on the scene, then you've got trouble. There's obviously a section 60, or there's something big that's happening for an inspector to be out. But in here, you see Gold Command out and about, and obviously a lot of people go, fucking a Gold Command, why are you out doing traffic stops? It's because it's RP, isn't it? It's the difference. I want to be out there and showing people, but if you can have all these officers doing their job and having the authorization, and yeah, it'd be lovely. Right, let's get out of there. Let's go for my first red light of the night, so we can get ourselves on radio. Oh, there we go. There's a first. I reckon my... Hello, buddy. Do you want to pull over for me? Just a little bit further up so I can get in behind you. Here we go. Perfect traffic stop. Let's go round. I'm not allowed to walk through, guys, because he could reverse into me.
Do you want to sort your radio name out? Oh, and of course it's the boss.
Hello, sir. How you doing? Oh, I've got to try and get... Do you mind just pulling forward very slightly? Just so
I need to start the car again. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, no worries. Perfect. How you doing, sir? My name is Tom Roberts, of Greater Manchester Police. Do you know why I pulled you over today?
Excessive speed.
It was, mate. Yeah. What was the rush for?
Just in a rush, mate. I'm just trying to get to work.
Right. Okay. Where do you work at, mate?
Amazon.
Okay. Nice. Obviously, same day delivery is brilliant in all things, but obviously if you've got to get there in one piece, mate. Especially in the middle of Legion, where a lot of cars fly by, and especially near a police station. You know, if I'm blue lighting out of there and you're going through red lights.
Completely understand, mate.
Yeah, it's not great, is it? Have you got a driving license on you, mate?
Yeah, I do.
No worries. Is that yourself, Liam? Is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, now that's the quickest I've ever got a phone number of someone.
I just got here yesterday, mate.
No worries, Liam. Do you own the vehicle as well?
Yeah.
Perfect. Just give me a couple of minutes, buddy. I'm just going to sit in my vehicle and just check up a few things. If all good, we'll get you on your way, okay?
No worries, mate.
Good man. Right, while I'm doing that, I'm just going to get my keybinds. I'm going to go to bikes, and it's Bicycle Sprint. It's my mouse. Why is my mouse fucking around? I bet it's that. Bet it's that. No, it is actually my mouse. Okay, brilliant. Liam Burr, there we go. So let me just go police actions, MDT. Clean, nothing on the record. Okay, and he owns the GTR. That's the one. Let me just put my police radar on to make sure. 9IF. Yeah, that's the one.
Can we get an additional unit on this chase, please? At 828.
Perfect, that's all come back all clean, and obviously you got the car. your record is nice and clean, as you say. Just arrived in. Welcome into Manchester. Hope your time is obviously brilliant for yourself and you enjoy it. Firstly.
Thanks very much.
But obviously, if you're carrying on them speeds, you won't be here for much longer.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's the first time I've spoken to yourself, and your record is clean. So I'm going to give you a nice slap on the wrist on this occasion. Okay.
Thanks very much, mate.
If
I do
caught again,
apologise.
you will get a fine.
Yep.
Or even worse, you may end up missing the light. Someone hits you, and you could be in the grave up the road there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Completely
think about it,
understand.
buddy.
Can I just ask you quickly as well? What is the speed limit for in the city?
So around these cities, we usually go by the record of 40 around Legion, but 70 most places around, and then 100 when you get out on the main.
On the main, but yeah, that's perfect, mate. Thanks very much for that.
No worries, but it's just, if I'm honest with you, it's just being realistic. You know, if an officer sees you going at a realistic speed around here because you're being caring of the most popular area, then he won't do you. But if you're speeding around, then of course he's going to pull you.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
All right, buddy. You have a fantastic day.
You too. Thanks very much.
Take care.
See ya.
Hello, lads. You right?
Hello, Tom. Just a very quick one.
Yeah, go
on. We've just attended a drug ping with RPU, Boys in the Hood.
Yep.
Long story short, they're trying to get Rodney Trotter out of a car because he's got detained and arrest.
Yep.
Another car, a Merc, tried to get involved. So now everyone's detached and gone for this Merc that got involved rather than look at the detain and arrest.
Right.
It's just like priorities.
No, of
just
course.
seems to be really wrong. That's them going past now. So that's just annoyed us. That's all.
That's fine. Obviously, this is where I expect a higher up or whatever to take command of that. Obviously,
Well,
if you see something,
X-Ray Tango 1 and 2, and they, we just believe the call to go after a vehicle that was just on the scene rather than the detain and arrest.
Now, as a sergeant, obviously you got that little bit of experience, that knowledge. You've gained that extra promotion role. Although X-Ray Tango 1 is a superior, there's nothing stopping you turn around and saying, obviously we've got a detain arrest out. Would it be not advisable to go for this vehicle? If he then turns around and says, no, we're chasing this one instead. Okay, sir, no problem. And off you go chase that one. And then afterwards, if you turn around and it's the wrong call and someone says, look, we could have got this person, then obviously they're the ones to answer to.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's just something that just didn't, just
no.
seemed a bit
Well,
odd.
why don't you, once the situation's finished, just have a word with Lumsden and say, look, this is what my opinion of the situation is. As you've come to me about it, just go to him and let him explain the situation. If he's gone, you know what, you are right, apologies, I'll make sure for next time, fine, we've got that problem solved. If he says, no, this is the reason, then obviously you know, and whether you want, if you feel it's right or wrong, then obviously you, depending on how you then address the situation after that. And if you feel that that's the wrong decision, then obviously, and it's been dealt with wrong, then obviously you can go to Badandi and ask him about the situation. But hopefully he'll come out with an answer that's obviously credible.
Yeah, no worries. Another thing, Sierra Oscar 9 is asking for a ride along, but I've only got a 2-seater, and I've got.
I am having issues with my radio where I can't talk to you, so I'm gonna have to. I've been in the station 2 hours 45 minutes tonight, so I've been trying to get out and about. I'm now out, done my first traffic stop, loving life, but I'm up at 5 in the morning, so disappointed that I've not been able to get some more airtime.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm kind of downtime in now.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
All right, cool, lads. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Catch
Good seeing you. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Yeah, cool. They've just radioed it in for me. Brooklyn's coming in another football. Let's go. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Nicky's coming in with roses as well. How you doing, Mr. Slash? How are we? And Cam, good to see ya. Really, man, let's see your message. Oh, I like it. If your feds don't talk shit. I tried getting out of the car at police impound. He was like salty about it and refused. Really? Well, the funny thing, because obviously we've just had... I can't even see the lights. So I'm just gonna... They're watching me, a gold command go through red lights there, I'd imagine. My bad. Yeah, I've obviously, we've had to get rid of a few people that were talking that way, and I've explained myself through tonight. That's why I've been in the police station so long. But I'm trying to clamp down on it as best as we can. You know, we want to be spoken to how we should expect to speak. At the end of the day, we're police officers, so keep to a standard. The server is Manchester Roleplay. If you do !server, you'll be able to see anyone that is in here that hasn't already. Feel free to join my personal Discord. I do have 2,000 plus members. If you are streamers, you do get yourself promo sections, and you can post all your content. If you've got your own city servers, I do not mind what you post. I just ask that obviously anything like that 5 days before you post again. Hello bud, how are you?
Yeah, very good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, my radio is not working, so unfortunately I've not been able to contact anyone over the radio. I've been in the station 2 hours 45 minutes, and I'm now out. But due to the situation I have with my radio, I'm going to go.
Yeah, that's received. So just to bring it up, we've already had a conversation with Duff about it. I had quite a deep conversation with Duff yesterday about ARU, etc.
Yep.
And regarding, obviously, he said to me that he does need help. Regarding obviously the situation where Webb left it in.
Yep.
And everything, deleting documents, all that jazzy stuff. He said to me that he is more than happy to obviously bring me on as an ARU trial on Monday, and bring me in as an inspector. He's to speak with you and see what you think of that.
Okay.
Obviously, he said that is his division, but obviously he liked to have an overview and just see what you think. But he said he's more than happy to bring me over as an inspector for training and stuff like that as well.
It is, yeah. So if you get sent for 1 minute a month, then it's 1 minute in real life. 20 months, 20 minutes in real life. Listen, I've always said, providing that rule book is kept to the same, that people in that 2 week period, etc., have gone past it, or the commanders run their division how they want. If they want to bring someone across, and providing they've spoken to the other commander about it and they both agree in the the right channel, then fine. Just doesn't need to be me to know about it.
Yeah, that's received. That's yeah.
Cool. Right, lads. It's been a long time. Eventful. I've been 5 minutes out, and I've been in the city 3 hours. So I'm literally going to just say I don't care about you anymore. I'm going off duty. With the nicest way possible. I mean, you do what you want, but I'm out of it.
You seem pretty tired.
When you spend 3 hours in a fucking PlayStation, of course you're gonna be tired.
What did you do for 3 hours then?
Interviews and meetings and shit that I didn't want to do, but I had to do it, so I'm going.
Welcome
Goodbye.
to the burdens of commands, mate.
Yeah. Have a good shift. Bye bye.
You too, mate. I mean, have a good evening.
I'm done. I'm not even asking for them to say good evening. I'm going. Guys, I absolutely apologize if you guys didn't enjoy that, but I'm not bothered. I have to do it as goal command. I will be back on tomorrow. You will see me out in the city more. I am going to be doing Call of Duty tomorrow. Barnsey, if he's on, I will do Call of Duty tomorrow in the after I've done some police work, because I'm not working Monday morning. I'm working Monday night, so I'll have to stay up a little bit later. So tomorrow we will get Call of Duty after we play GTA. There's only, I think, 2 or 3 interviews tomorrow, so we're going to spend most of it out in the city. So no matter what you want, if you want Call of Duty and watch that, tune in later. If you want GTA roleplay, I will be back live around 8:30 to 9 o'clock as I normally am. GC2, I don't know if he's around again. I don't think he is tomorrow, so it'll be me again. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed what I've had to experience. That is goal command. I have to sit there and take all of these interviews. This is me trying to improve the police and make it as good as I can. If you like that, brilliant. If you didn't like it, unlucky. I will be back live tomorrow, guys. Thank you so much. Guys, I just want to give recognition because we've hit quite a few TikTok gifts tonight. Nikki, Brooklyn, Daniel. Let me just go to my activities so I've got everyone so I don't miss people. Brooklyn, Nikki, Daniel, Ghostface Barker, Ashton, Matty, Tom Vassy. Thank you so much to everyone in there who has sent TikTok gifts. Very, very kind of you, and much appreciated as always. Thank you to people who have obviously gifted subs to CK, thank you for gifting a sub tonight. Thank you to Liquid Lux, who's resubscribed with Prime. Poe's come in with the resubscribe for 7 months. Liz coming in as well. Maxi Smith, thank you so much. Martin as well for kicking off the 6 subs tonight. Thank you so much. We didn't hit the goal tonight, but regardless, we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you so much to everyone who has been here and enjoyed themselves. Enjoy your Sunday. And I will look forward to seeing it all tomorrow. Let's go and raid someone, shall we? Nah. Who we raiding tonight? Who we raiding? I got a guide the raid. And the guide the raid was to I need to check this. Guide the raid. Anyone in mod mode? Any of my mods on mod mode? Who was the guide the raid to tonight? Guide the raid to LBM. He is in my Discord. He is sitting there. 149 viewers. He is in my Discord as a community member. He loves my content, as he says. He loves my police. Hopefully, he's going to try and join our city at some point and come on to the police as well. Have a fantastic night, all. Appreciate you all. Let's go show him some love. I think at the moment he plays an American server. D10, is it? Possibly. But guys, have a fantastic night. Take care all.